Hey.
Is
Hello.
not a fake out. No one is getting faked out here.
D's like, I'm not being weird.
Maybe
It's
we-
weird.
I'm
I'm not being weird.
apprehensive.
I've been.
Tony's the DM again.
Hey,
Dun, dun,
I
dun.
take
Oh,
offense
we
to
are
that.
live. Meh.
That hurts my feelings. Oh dear.
Oh
Hold on.
no. Oh no.
Nope,
There
we're
we go.
good. I
About to
gotta do
do
this
my way
fun.
out.
Hello. Goodbye. Hello.
Dee was
Game
picking
again.
her nose before. When
There we
went live.
go. Cool.
I was
Awesome.
not. I was making weird faces. Like I always am.
I love when new technology that you try to get to work doesn't work. Hold on.
Volume.
Hold, please.
New technology
Professional streamer.
is the best.
Is it this?
Is it?
I
Is
don't know, I
this
just
one?
wrote stream.
Bro
Sorry.
stream. Okay.
Alright, cool. Still daylight
Well, we will
outside.
just do this then, because this is being
Kinda throwing
silly.
me for a loop.
Hi everyone.
Have death
Welcome to Reality Break, where we take a break from the real world to play some Dungeons and Dragons.
Woo!
Woo!
Dungeons and
So-
Dragons!
Dungeons and Dragons. I still think somebody in our group needs to do the Travis from Critical Role.
What?
Where he
What?
doesn't really say. Yeah, he does. Like it. The joke is he doesn't like when Mercer does his welcome to Critical Role. Where everyone else goes Dungeons and Dragons, and he just like grunts. He's just like.
It keeps cutting you off.
oh,
Your
I know what you're
microphone
talking about.
keeps cutting you off.
It's okay. You guys get
Yeah.
the idea. So
I'm pretty
yes,
open.
Yeah, we get the idea.
uh,
I just
metaphorically
opened
speaking.
my dice tray upside down, and my dice are all unorganized now.
Oh,
Yeah! That means you're gonna have good rolls.
Live our life
Maybe
through
you just-
chaos.
I
Yeah.
hope so.
Live life chaotically.
They can't
so
get any worse.
this is true. So yes, as Dee so succinctly pointed out, I've got the Dungeon Master flag under my name now. Bloop, 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 bloop. So we are returning to the wonderful world of Starhel tonight. So before we really get into it, though, there's going to be some house cleaning stuff, some new homebrew rules that we're going to be introducing for this chapter of Starhel, which has been discussed and approved by the rest of the group. So I'm not springing anything on that they haven't been prepared for. But a couple quick reminders. First off, there is a super fun, super awesome event we have planned for Saturday, April 1st. So make sure you mark your calendars on there. So yes, that is a Saturday. We normally stream on Tuesdays. So if we're doing it on Saturday, that means it's gotta be something exciting.
Yeah, it's actually.
I just went into newscaster mode right then. Back to you in the studio. I
With
can't
the
help
clips.
All right, I've got a little bit of interference over here.
And the other
carried into a clip thing.
speaking of segues, the other
Blah,
thing
blah,
that we
blah.
love talking about is clips and how useful they are, how fun they are, and how funny they can be. As a matter of fact, I think Bill might have a song for us about clips. Bill, take it away.
Wait, let me pull my pants up first. Pants. We don't need no pants. We want clips. Give me all them clips, cause clips are great and we want them all over the place, cause they get us all the likes on TikTok. Take it away, Christy.
Nope.
The clips. Here, I can't follow that. Are you kidding? Make sure you clip on Twitch. Use the little movie clapper thingy to do the clips. Make sure you give it a title, because that's how we make sure that they get discovered, and it helps get our channel out there a little bit more. Give it a title. Can be 30 seconds, can be up to a minute, and a lot of those clips get edited and put on our TikTok. Which is also another good place to see other D&D related videos. But most recently, just today, earlier this afternoon, we finished up a recap of the previous adventures in Starhel as told by our favorite NPC Lockjaw. So you should check out our TikTok. It's at 5 parts. However, I think I am going to take the whole thing and upload the whole thing in one part at some point in the future, because we just got access to 10-minute videos on TikTok just this weekend. So brand new news. Nobody else knows it except for Tony because he
Yeah, I was the only
on
one that
me
knew.
on Sunday when I found out.
Yeah. So
there you go. Big news
and
on
that-
the TikTok front.
And that's exciting because that gives us the opportunity to not only continue the short form content, which we love, it gives us the opportunity to expand to maybe some longer content in the future. So keep an eye out
Don't
for
we
that.
already? Isn't this the long content here?
No,
Medium content.
this content?
You are the
We've
long
got a
con.
lot of long.
This
content.
is not
Medium-length
content.
This is not the farthest thing. Are
No,
you kidding me?
The only content we create is on TikTok, guys. Go.
That's pretty much
go watch
it.
TikTok.
Go watch TikTok.
We
We're
just talk
just here
about
to hang.
TikTok here.
We're just here to play D&D and talk about our TikTok. And then you go onto
Yeah.
the TikTok, and then we go on the TikTok to talk about D&D. So it's just this
Let's
vicious
just talk about
cycle
TikTok
of just talk, tickety talk. I think it's time.
Talking on the TikTok.
Get it?
Tickety
TikTok
tock.
clock. Time to move on. Speaking of segues.
Time.
1, 2, 3 o'clock, 4
Move
o'clock,
on.
rock.
Rock. 5, 6, 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock, rock. Hey, we're off to a fantastic start. I love all of
That's
you.
great.
And we love all of you.
I love
Oh
us.
my
And
God.
thank you. The hashtag I love us. And thank you for the people that are spending your Tuesday evening, morning, afternoon with us, and for the folks that are watching the replay on Wednesdays. Hi. Thanks for stopping by.
Happy Hump Day.
Happy Hump Day.
We love you.
And for us, the rest of you,
Hello,
happy
my
almost
future
Hump Day. Except for
Hello,
Australia.
future.
That's a nice,
I think in
that's a
Australia
nice
it's
Tumblr
Wednesday
you got
already?
there, Tony.
Yeah.
What? Oh, yes.
Sure.
So, speaking of plugs, I am drinking from my lovely D&T tumbler. I was gonna call it a thermos. I'm like, it's not a thermos. It's a tumbler.
It's downstairs. I have one.
As I hide my cup because it's not.
So, D&T, we are not partnered with them. We just think they're really cool
Yet.
and they provide quality products. I got mine, which says DM, perfect timing. And it kept my coffee that I poured at, I think, 6:45 in the morning warm till about 11 o'clock. And that was like the perfect temperature warm for me. And that was only because I was keeping the lid off almost that entire time because I'm terrible about tumblers with lids like this.
Yeah.
I'm used to the ones with like where you push the button and the slot pops open. So
Honestly,
better
the
about
fact that it was
keeping-
open that long, that's pretty good.
yeah, exactly. That's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
So if I'm better about keeping the lid on, the heat will stay even longer. So if you've not checked them out already, go check them out. It's D&T pretty much everywhere. And quality products and quality
tea
teas.
spelled out like tea.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah,
not
like
just the letter
drinking
T. but-
tea.
And
Yes.
really fun
Because
to interact
'cause
with
I-
on Twitter
yeah.
as well. So
yeah, there you go. So yeah,
Mhm. They
it's
are
good
fun. They're
stuff.
good.
Almost
They're
as fun
good
as us.
Yeah, we're pretty fun. But we're fun in a goofy way. They're fun in like a
Nope, you beat
cool
me to
way.
it.
They're pretty
So
awesome.
yeah,
It's okay. You had the
They-
real one.
they're the kids at school that everybody always wants to hang out with because they're cool, and we're the kids that are like,
Yeah.
let them sit at their own table. That's fine. They
Yeah.
they're cool over there.
Well,
I
we
got
have a
dice.
full table.
and speaking of hanging with people, we have a Discord. So
Yeah.
Yeah, we do.
We do. It's called the Break Room. Link is in the chat. It's also on the homepage. Definitely go check it out. There is activity on there, and there is a bunch of different stuff you can go on there for. Not just to talk about D&D. It's to look for D&D groups. It's to check out art. It's to post art, and it's a good place just to hang out and meet people. So go check that out as well. So now that we've gotten all of the announcements out of the way, first off, Kaylee, does it feel weird not to be doing the announcements and all that anymore?
It's not weird, but it definitely is like, oh, nice. I don't have to worry about what direction we're headed in.
Yeah.
It's not my problem if we're running late.
We only go in one direction,
You're not driving the bus anymore.
and that's forward. Oh man.
actually, Tony's sick. We need
Yep.
Haley to do
Yeah, Kaylee,
First
hop in. No, that would.
And then the halflings
Anyway,
invade the world.
Whoa.
Oh my lord.
that's right. Because in Osiria we had, what was it? What were we? Because in Starhel you guys are the Fellowship. Because we've got 2
Yeah.
humans and 3 halflings.
Oh.
Halflings are almost like almost
Oh,
like hobbits.
in Osirian, we're the Wizard of Oz.
Oh, that's right. That was it.
Yeah.
So I guess what I'm saying is there's no original idea. Everybody rips off of everybody. So.
And
Am I
that's the way
Toto?
it's always been done.
No, I thought you were the
Maybe.
Scarecrow, D.
I thought you were the farty lion.
No, we're talking about Assyria, not Barty. Barty is more.
I have
Exactly, she's
all
not.
of the courage, okay?
Yeah.
True.
Not many brains.
So yeah,
Scarecrow.
I mean,
Scarecrow. All right.
Yeah.
So.
Scarecrow.
Tin Man. Oh, was that
Scarecrow.
Roland? The Tin Man? No,
Mhm.
it was the
Oh.
Tin Man.
Yeah.
No, he
Roland.
has too much heart.
No, it was Roland.
Okay.
That's
Okay.
true.
All right. I'm trying to figure. All right.
I don't
well,
know.
well,
I
the
just
Tin Man
it was
always
just
had
the demographics made me think of the Wizard of Oz. So we
Oh,
should get
that's
back to Starheel though. Because
Yes,
Speaking of
yes.
demographics,
So
it sounds
the
like
point is-
Demogorgon, which reminds me of D&D.
D&D. So, moral of the story is pop over to our Discord to have engaging conversations like, what does our D&D party remind you of? Who does our D&D party remind you of? So it's engaging stuff there. All right,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
let us get into the first part of tonight's return to Starheel, which is homebrew rules.
Dun, 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 dun.
As somebody, as a DM that has homebrewed everything about every campaign I've ever DM'd for, I am always looking for different things to change up about how my campaigns are run. I think everybody, even a lot of the RAW, rules as written people, I think some of them maybe look at rules and go, okay, maybe there's something here that we could tweak. I dive in headlong, and I will be honest with everybody that the group, I introduced some stuff to the group that the group was like, that's probably a bit too much, and I go, okay, that's fair. That was just an idea. So, the first homebrew
He was
rule
just
that
looking for more ways to punish us.
Literally.
strong as strong. That was strong, but anyway. So, the first homebrew rule involves, I guess, lack of a better way to put it, DM provided benefits. It's the best general category. So, typically, DMs and GMs will hand out inspiration for someone that does a cool role-playing moment, does something really cool in combat, or does a rule of cool kind of thing, or just, kind of a general, like, well, I feel bad because something happened to you, here's some inspiration to make you feel better. I obviously love the idea of rewarding my players when they do something really cool. However, in my mind, inspiration, which, for those that don't know, inspiration gives you advantage on pretty much any roll, which means if you roll bad, you can use your inspiration and re-roll it again. I liked the idea of inspiration, however, I always felt like there was a component of, like, you could potentially still lose out on something. So, like, for instance, if you roll a 1, and you're like, oh, I've got inspiration, and you re-roll it, and you roll a 5, how much is that helping you? It's not really helping you, even though you were, I don't know if I want to call it banking on. Banking on may not be the right term, but, like, really hoping that you would get a bigger benefit from that inspiration. So what I am introducing to the group is something called hero points. So, everybody in the party starts off with 2 hero points right away. And you accumulate hero points the same way you would inspiration. So through doing good role playing, doing something cool in combat, rule of cool stuff, pretty much anything that you would give inspiration for. My plan is to reward it more frequently. Now, it's not going to be like every session everybody's going to get hero points. But what it'll enable you to do is you could take those any number of points that you have stored, and you can bank up to 10 points at a time, and add them to any almost any dice roll you make. The only exceptions are you can't improve a natural 1. So if you get a natural 1, that's it. You can't make something into a natural 20. So if you roll an 18 and you use 2 points, guess what? It's considered a dirty 20. And you cannot use the hero points on death savings throws, because that should be left, in my mind, death saving throws should be purely left up to fate, because that's how a situation like that is. It's purely up to fate, in my mind.
Really making me
And to clarify, by almost any dice roll, you mean almost any d20 roll.
That's
right?
correct, yes. Yeah, so you can't use it to buff damage or anything like that. It's any d20
Okay.
roll. Sorry, I should have clarified that. So basically, and you can use it before you roll or after you roll. So for instance, if you know the DC of a spell is 15, you can say, I want to use, before I roll, I want to use hero points enough to get me to pass it if I need to. Or you can add them retroactively. So if you have a DC of 15 and you roll a 10, then you can go, okay, I want to use 5 hero points to pass the roll.
Oh, clarify on that. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Pink.
Yeah, so because Christy rolls low, can you donate hero points?
Regrettably,
Oh.
that is very
Whoa.
sweet, but regrettably not.
Touch
Your
the
points.
I'm like equally insulted and touched.
Thank you and screw you.
You touched my heart with an arrow.
Pretty much. Very, very fun and very clever, but regrettably, your points are your points to use. So, regrettably, you cannot donate any of your points to anybody else's cause.
Maybe we could have a once a day channel point, once a stream channel point like we have first, and each player could have a hero, give this player a hero point. So like the audience could give one player, or give a player 1 hero point per session if they have the points for it.
Well, just like first, I'm never gonna get it.
No, you're never gonna get it.
We can talk about that.
Never gonna get
We
it.
can talk about that maybe off stream.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we can
About
work
how we
something
wanna
else like that
implement something like
and
that,
make an
maybe.
announcement about it if we're gonna do something like that.
My question, clarification is, when you said, so, you know, if you're going into it and saying, I want to do this, and if I fail, I want to use the hero points to make it up, and or afterwards. So in that case, is this something where we've already heard that we would fail, and we can say, do I have enough hero points to get to that?
That's gonna depend on context.
Or are you going to
so,
give
like,
us straight up DCs more often? You know what I mean? Like, I guess.
I mean,
like, going into
I
it, knowing the DC makes a big difference versus.
well, obviously, then if you plan on using it mostly for combat scenarios, or something like that, I still want to create the element of like not being sure of something. So maybe for for perception checks or something like that, I wouldn't necessarily give what the DC would be, because I still want to create that, like, you know.
But so if we had rolled close, and if we, you don't necessarily have to confirm it in the moment, but if we were to say, I have 6 hero points, could I use enough to pass this check, and you could confirm or deny, kind of thing?
That would be fair. So if you want, well, maybe not pass the check, but say, like, how close am I to convincing them? You know, something like that. You know, where in combat, for example, if you say, how does the bad guy look? I'm not going to tell you he has 5 hit points left, but I'm going to tell you he looks really bad. If you say, I rolled a 12, I go, it looks like a little nudge might be able to convince them to do this thing. Then you can go, okay, I want to buff it with some hero points and see what that gets.
Well, between 1 and 32, he looks like about a 5.
He
Yeah.
looks very plain, actually.
It looks very plain.
All right, yeah, because like I said, you know, just with that example of if you know your DC is 15, where you know, that's definitely very applicable in combat. But like, maybe would there be more moments where you like might say, okay, you know, if I'm trying to convince someone, or if I'm trying to intimidate someone, or if I'm trying to search for something, you know, it might be, all right, you're looking around, because you are looking for a certain thing, you gotta beat an 18 or whatever. Like, whereas, like you said, if it's a point where we meet that mystery, that's a very different story.
Yeah, and something like that, I mean, we could kind of play scenario by scenario. Like I said, my general rule of thumb would be like in combat, absolutely you can, ask for a number and I'll give it to you. And then in those non-combat situations, may role play it out a little bit to give you the give you the option of well, do I want to use them or do I not want to use them, and
Right.
Stuff like that. And then
My only
in certain
worst
instances, if
scenario-
you're and then for your example, if you're I wanna roll an investigation check to look for that map, then I will say, okay. In that instance, I may say, okay, you need to beat an 18 to find it, kind of thing.
Yeah, because my only worst case scenario fear on that would be, going, oh, okay, he doesn't look super convinced, and going, okay, I want to use all my hero points, and no, he's still not convinced. You know what I mean? So
and that also depends on how many you use. Like if you use 2, if all of your hero points you have is 2, maybe that not be a lot. But if all the hero points you have is 8, that's a big swing in my mind.
Right.
So
Okay, yeah.
And that's the other question too. Is what's the max?
10.
Yeah, you could pool up to 10,
10. Okay.
and everyone starts with 2 right away.
Oh, I like it. Woohoo.
Yep.
Very nice.
Yeah. So like I said, it still adds a little bit of resource pooling, so to speak. And it also gives you it gives you guys, I don't want to say a guarantee, but it's almost like I'm going to use this knowing it's going to help me
Make it higher.
in a significant manner.
Right,
Manner. Like I said, because with inspiration, I rolled a 1.
might
Oh, I'm
roll
going to
a
use my
lower
inspiration and roll a 5. Cool. That didn't really help me.
Yeah. Or worst
so-
case, even you roll inspiration and roll something lower.
And roll something lower, then well, crap, I got to use the original roll, and then I used my
Yeah.
inspiration already, so.
Yeah.
And like I said, I plan on doling it out a little bit more. Not like everybody's going to get 5 hero points every turn, but I think
Right.
I think people might be, especially if they're doing decent, consistent role playing and doing decently, descriptively cool stuff in combat. You might find yourself getting more hero points than you think. So.
Awesome. Okay.
It sounds like a really
Right.
cool thing to play with.
Yeah. Well,
And it's not game breaking, you know what I mean?
No,
In
well,
any way.
here it is.
Yeah.
It is kind of game breaking, but it's game breaking to help you guys out.
Oh,
Because
the DM doesn't have them.
yeah,
Gotcha.
because NPCs aren't going to get this because they're hero points. You guys are the
Yeah.
heroes. You're the one earning them.
Yeah.
Well, Duncan might have some, but that depends on whether he's still a hero or not.
Yeah.
Will the rock walls get him?
What about Shing Shing?
Shing.
The rock walls have instantly 50 hero points, so they're good. And then Xing
Absolutely.
Xing, I think, has
Endless.
negative. He's got
Yes.
negative hero points. He's got
Everything.
villain points.
Negative everything.
Yeah.
This is a hero
That
point every
villain
time he
point,
shings.
I like
He's
it.
got villain points. All right, so
Oh, shit,
I-
don't give him ideas.
I want all of the.
All right, so I
points,
think
please.
that I get hero points enough. So I think hero points we're just gonna have to see play with it a little
Yeah.
bit until we're all kind of
Yeah.
comfortable with it.
yeah, for sure, and that's fair for pretty much any homebrew rule. You're gonna have to first try it out a couple times before you're really like, oh yeah, okay, I get it now. We're good. So that's completely fair, and I'm here to help guide along the way. So the next homebrew rule, which actually I have to admit I can't take 100% credit for this because I have seen other campaigns do it, other D&D groups like D&D actual plays and stuff like that do it. So this isn't really a Tony original idea, but it involves rolling damage on natural 20s. So the rule in D&D is when you're rolling to hit and you roll a natural 20, the rule is you get awarded by doubling the dice that you roll, and then you add your modifier on top of that. So if you have a weapon that does 1d10 damage, 1d plus 4, 1d10 plus 4, you roll 2d10 if you roll a natural 20 to hit. However, I never really like that because there's instances where you've doubled your dice roll and end up rolling lower than what you could potentially get on a single dice roll. So like I've rolled a d10 or 2d10 on a hit and rolled like a 4 and a 3. So it's like, cool, I did 7 when I could have done just as good if not better with 1. So the rule that we're implementing going forward, now this one also counts for NPCs. So bear in mind for that. instead of doubling your dice roll, one dice roll is the automatic max you can get. So for example, if you have a d10 plus 4, you roll a natural 20 to get 2d10, you automatically get at least 10 points of damage, and then you roll the other dice like you would normally.
Yeah.
I'm in danger.
You also, I mean, because honestly, what I'm thinking about is,
Because rolling that ones on double damage is such
Yeah,
a
it's
fucking
awful.
pain in the ass.
yeah, exactly. And there's been
Okay,
plenty
so
of
I have a question about that then.
fire away.
Go ahead. Sorry, finish your thought, and then I have a
No,
question.
I was just gonna say, like, I mean, I've had plenty of instances where I rolled a nat 20 on damage, rolled my dice, and then, you know, like I said, got two
One or
really
two,
low
yeah.
rolls.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
this gives an automatic immediate benefit, and then whatever you get on top of. All right, go ahead.
Okay, so my question for that is, especially since I'm playing a rogue, if I get a crit on a sneak attack,
How do you double
that's
this?
doubling the dice, right?
Doubling the dice.
And
You're
does
not
that
doubling the
include
mo-
the sneak attack dice?
If you're doubling
It
the
does.
dice on a sneak attack, then you would max out one of the sneak attack rolls.
Right, but with sneak attack,
Ew.
normally you get 3, and when you crit, you're getting 6. But now she'd only be getting 3.
I
and one of them
know,
would be
but
max.
I rolled
Well, you're getting
shitty.
3. Yeah, you'd be getting 3 dice rolls, but she'd be getting 6 because it's a d6, right?
But yeah, so
Yeah,
like
It's
you'd get
3.
3d6.
I have 3d6
So
now.
when you crit,
Yeah.
that would be 6d6.
Yeah, so she'd automatically get 18.
No, but I never roll that well.
Oh, wait. So no.
So
no,
she would
no,
automatically get
she would
18.
automatically get 6. Oh, so
No-
you'd say she'd
no.
max her sneak attack damage?
She'd max her sneak because anything
Okay.
you double the dice for, you automatically get max for half of that. So in that instance,
So
she would
one
roll
of
6d6.
those doubles.
Yeah, so she would get 6d6 on a nat 20 sneak attack. So she automatically
and
gets
3 of them are
18,
6s.
and then she
Gotcha.
rolls,
I get
and then she would roll
18
the.
plus 3
3 more
d6
d6.
more.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So if she nat 20s on
I
a
don't know
sneak
why I was
attack,
stuck in my head that you were only rolling one, but now I get it. It's because the one set of them is maxed. I got it.
yeah, I was using
Is
the
max,
1d10 as like a basic
Yeah.
example.
Can we just make that our
That's
official
easy.
dance?
I just wanted to make sure how far that went. Because as
Yeah.
we level up in this campaign,
Yeah.
that those numbers of d6s just keep going up for me. So.
And like,
Yeah.
so if you add things like superiority die and stuff like that, that's not affected when you crit, correct?
No, because you don't double superiority die. So
Okay. And like key points and stuff, I don't think you do. Well, that's separate because that's attacks. Okay.
yeah. So yeah, so rogues with sneak attack, if they roll a nat 20 with sneak attacks, they're gonna do a ton of damage on top of what they already do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Okay. Yeah, all
it
of
goes
mine
the other
involve
way.
Making separate attack rolls, so yeah, that would then it would be a separate crit. Okay.
So you'd have to roll nat 20 for every one of those
Right.
attacks.
Yeah,
So,
no.
yeah.
But yeah, that's
Which if you
awesome
do
that the
if you
freaking
do, you
rogue-
deserve to destroy whatever you're punching.
Oh, question. Are we
Yo.
still adding our modifier to that or no?
Yes.
add your-
Well, you
yeah.
don't double the modifier on a
Right.
crit. You only double the dice roll. So yes, you're
But
still
you
going to
still have
add
your
your
modifier
modifier.
on top of that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's not changing
Yeah.
it. It just is basically letting
Yeah.
you max out one dice roll and then you roll the
Yeah.
other one naturally. So
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Like in
so
her
like if I
instance-
got a sneak attack with my dagger, I would get 18 plus 4 is 22, and then I would roll 1d4 and 3d6, and then I would
your
add my
X
plus
modifier.
4 at the end.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then you would kill the guy.
basically,
Yeah.
I mean
That
that
point.
she think of
Yeah,
that.
that's
She
awesome, 'cause
did that with
really
she
tricky.
did that with
Hopefully.
Deviant without
Yeah.
this rule basically because you
Yeah.
rolled like
Yep.
30
I mean,
something that
that's-
first hit.
Yeah. That was
That
insane.
like the one time I like I said, I get one good roll a session. It just
That was about the
lucked out that
perfect
it was
roll.
that.
It just so
That's a good
happened that it
one.
was the correct good roll.
Because let me tell you, if you had
That one
missed,
doesn't happen very often.
if you had missed,
Oh, we would have been in trouble.
I will behind the curtains. If you had missed, Deviant would have gotten this surprise attack on probably Morag since he was standing and looking right at you. So he would have gotten
he was
first.
looking at Jen, not me.
No, you were right there with him with your glove and
No.
stuff. Like, the glove coming
yeah.
off.
Yeah, because
My glove-
Jen snuck up
my
behind him.
When the gloves come off, the signal in here
When
is
the gloves
terrible.
come off, the signal
Oh
in
my
here is
gosh.
terrible.
I remember
I'm
that. Memories.
But
Poor
you know what's
signal.
great?
My favorite
I-
thing about that is that you remember that now, but you definitely didn't at the time, and
Nope.
that's what was funny.
The best part was that it was my idea, and I'm just sitting here, crickets, absolute
Yeah.
crickets in my brain.
But you,
Like,
but, and I think I said this
Okay.
at the time. I think I said this at the time too. But that, because you guys, and this is like a little role playing stuff that I love. You guys are a new group. You had just met each other like the day before, so of course it only makes
We're not
sense
working
that
like a
like
well-oiled
you're not a
machine,
well-oiled
yeah.
machine in a pressure situation like that. So of course there's going to be gaffes and moments of like, crap. I thought, what are we doing?
What do
you know?
we do
And-
now?
yeah.
So in context, it made perfect sense, which made it even better in my mind. So I'm proud of you
That
for
was pretty
goofing
fun.
that up, D. Good job.
Yeah, so we all start with an extra hero point.
Thanks.
Thank you.
I am the avocado. Thanks.
Hey.
I'm Tony. And fun.
Alrighty.
Um,
All right. So, any other questions about the doubling dice roll or the hero points?
No, I just gotta write down hero points in all the 57 places that I keep track of things, that's all.
3
Yeah,
cheers for the
just that-
note taker.
yeah, to the note taker.
To the note taker.
Note Taker has a brand new notebook for this campaign. Yay.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Hey,
Yeah.
if you want to
Should have
send,
covered,
if you want to help Christy buy new notebooks, send us a tip.
Send us a tip to buy new notebooks.
I'll
This
give you a tip.
notebook, I'll give a
I'll
little
give
bit
you
of a shout out. This is
I'll give
from,
you a tip.
Um,
Don't spit into the wind.
a store on
Don't be a baroque.
Etsy called Acorn and Crow or something like that. The store owner films her boxings on and puts them on TikTok, and they're really
Oh,
funny.
cute.
That's how I found them. So
Lovely.
there you go. This is
My notebook-
today's D&D stuff shout out.
Nice.
Yeah.
The other second one of the day. My notebook is Google Drive, so
Yeah.
somewhere somebody is going into
Mine's
my
like Google
deep,
Sheets.
like somebody at some desk at Google is going through and looking up my information and being like, what does this all mean?
Nah, it's a nerd who knows. It's a nerd who knows.
I'm sure
Oh, there-
probably.
I hope
This guy's
so.
so
Probably.
smart.
Well,
Yeah.
here's what I've done on my other one. So I've just scratched out since I'm playing a rogue. You can't see it.
Yeah, you can't see it.
I'm playing a rogue. I don't know. I need my spell DC box, so I just scratched that out and wrote hero
But
points.
hero
There you
point's
go.
perfect. So Tony,
Yeah.
I know we were gonna talk about like how our characters felt and stuff after the dream, but I really think that sequence was so epic. I don't want to put you on the spot, but I think we kind of need a little bit of a recap of the dreams.
By all
It was
means,
pretty
that
epic.
that
You know what I mean?
that
Like-
sequence, you know, people talk about things they've accomplished in their life: graduating school, buying a home, having kids, buying a car. That 5-minute sequence lives in my head rent free as one of my proudest accomplishments.
Aw.
That's awesome.
Nothing
and
wrong
not,
with that.
only because of the work, not only because of the work I put into it, but how you guys reacted to it. Because I could write up something cool, and if you guys don't react to it, you know, in the way that you did, that sequence just falls flat on its face. And everyone here did a fantastic job of reacting how your character reacts, in the most appropriate way. Clancy still tears at my heart with this whole like, you know, you can't control my life anymore. You know, you tried it once before, you can't do it anymore. Shouting at this gallery of people just booing him and, you know, putting him down. So it was very inspiring from everyone. I was very proud of all of you.
You mean that time I cried?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which time? So that time or the time Duncan got dragged out of Deviant's office?
Oh my
Yeah, there have been a
gosh.
few.
I just, you know, the
Long,
meme
long
is that
time
DMs
ago.
love tormenting their players.
I can still remember.
I will admit, as long as you are, you know, as long as the DM knows what they're doing and they don't feed into it too much, it really is kind of fun to watch you guys squirm. Not gonna
Wow.
lie.
I was gonna say.
Like what the whole goblin's not
I
thing.
felt bad when I upset you guys.
Nope. Nope. You know why? Because it made for good storytelling. And I've admitted,
This is true.
like, as a DM, I look at it as DMs have 3 categories that they, that contribute to being a DM: story building, or storytelling, world building, and rules. Knowledge of rules and stuff like that.
Arbitration.
Yeah, there we go. I've always I admit I am a average, at best, rule follower. I consider myself a pretty good world builder, not a great one, but the one thing I take pride in is storytelling. So, moments like that conversation with Deviant and Duncan outside, where Deviant's like, "Can you go back into my office?" Watching you guys all squirm was
I
like,
still
"Oh,
can't.
this is so perfect." I still think my favorite. Well, I have 2 favorites in that moment. There's Christy, where she's like, "I don't like this,"
Yeah.
and then Kaylee, and then there's Kaylee that's just like,
Yeah, he's like, no.
Yeah. I like these. No. I go back and watch that clip a lot.
yeah. So that's
It's on our TikTok.
it's on the TikTok. Oh, is it?
It is.
Oh, that is?
Mhm.
Oh yeah.
It's
Oh
one
yeah.
of the
That
first ones I
that
posted. Yeah.
that clip is okay. I was thinking about the dream sequence. I'm like, is it the dream sequence?
No, but that
No.
needs to be.
It does need to be.
No,
Now
I
that
didn't
we
know
have
how to
10
do it. Now that we got
minutes.
10-minute videos, maybe I'll put them all on there.
Yeah.
I'll figure
Okay.
out how to do a highlight
So-
and put them all on there.
But to answer your question, I can absolutely relive the dream sequence. I just have to go find the doc that has all of the
We were
exact
traumatized.
all the notes in it. Oh yeah, there it is. I called it the post-credit scene. All right. So, I guess this right now will start the official moving forward in
Back into
Starhel.
Starhel.
Yeah.
So, welcome back everyone.
Calls for a new page in my notebook.
All right.
Yup.
Fresh
So,
page.
last we left our heroes, they had successfully gotten their reward for defeating the Dragon's Claw bandit group, and they'd earned their gold. They had agreed to the contract to be, I ended up calling it contractors. Because I know originally I thought it was conscripts, and that was not what you guys were. We're calling you guys are basically independent contractors at this point. For the Starhel military, so they can basically go to any town that has a major garrison and stay at the dormitories set up. At no extra charge. Everybody in the group gets a stipend every month that they can collect from the local branch of the Starhel Financial Institution, which that wouldn't have or Bank and Trust. There's
Tony
Starhel Bank and
invented
Trust.
Banking. Tony invented
I did.
banking in this world.
I did invent. I didn't invent banking itself, because if that had happened, then something like the Silicon Valley Bank thing wouldn't have happened. Capitalism. But no, I invented it. I did have to invent an entire banking system for Starhel. So I'm getting off track. Keep me focused. So they had gone and they'd signed their contracts. They had enjoyed the day, relaxing. I believe Clancy ended up taking like an 8-hour bath, because he was just like, that's it. I'm just gonna sit in the bath all day. Some people went and read. Some people walked around the marketplace. But when everybody went to bed that night, they had each one of them had a fitful night of sleep.
Dun dun dun.
Dun dun dun. I don't remember that. That wasn't the exact phrase I used, but
It was restless, I think. Wasn't it?
restless night
or
of sleep.
something?
Yep.
Yeah.
So, so we had started with Flynn, who was on stage of the Constellation Theater in Eden, which is basically like, think of it as Carnegie Hall of Starhel. The biggest, if you play a stage, you play the Constellation Theater. And he was putting on the performance of his career, and when he finished his last note, there was dead silence. No crowds, no nothing. And then when the house lights
Worst dream
came back
ever.
on, That's ours. It was one of the first. Yeah. Anyway, so when the house lights came on, he did not see a crowd of people cheering him on or there to watch his show. What he saw were the families that he had last seen in the back of a wagon being sold and moved. So as he had tried to escape off stage, giant walls started flying up in front of him, so he couldn't get off stage. And as he turned to look back into the crowd, he ended up hearing a single per individual clapping and seeing a red tiefling with a large brimmed hat wearing a white suit that had just started clapping and basically berating him, which he took him a little prodding, but remembered that it was Jillian, the leader of the first music group he had ever joined, that eventually led him into this terrible thing that he had been taken a part of unknowingly at the time, and had been afraid that he was on the run from ever since. Just do it! Is it because of my hands? Is that why? Is it because of the hands?
No. You said a singular person clapping, and I thought of the Shia LaBeouf song.
Oh, okay.
Sorry.
All right. It's fine.
I tried to compose myself. It just
We were
didn't
so
work.
good.
Sorry.
We were so good.
You know what gave it away was Kaylee.
Me?
It wasn't me this time.
I love Kaylee. She is not very subtle. Anyway.
She's like, composure.
Composure. Nope, I got
Nailed
it.
it.
All right, so from then, and then he'd woken up. From then, we had moved on to Kira, who found herself reliving a moment from her past. She had been a part of the Thieves Guild, and a mission had gone awry where she'd ended up having to knock out some of her cohorts because they were going to do something that she didn't agree with. So as she was booking it from the scene, she had a confrontation with the leader of the Thieves Guild. At the time she was in it, Nightshade, a pale-skinned female elf with a crescent moon tattoo over her eye. So she had given her, and in a monologue, Nightshade had basically laid out everything that Kira had ever done in her life, every big problem she'd had, she'd just run away from. Despite what was left behind, she'd just run away from it. And so, confronted with this knowledge, Kira had stood up and said, I ran, but I ran for a good reason, and I'm nothing like you at all. And that's where that dream left off. Then I think it was Morag, if my memory serves me correct.
I believe you're
I
correct.
think I was last.
Yeah, because...
Was it?
No,
I thought...
No, Clancy was last.
Correct.
Clancy was last, yeah. Yeah, because it went you, then Jen, then Clancy. So Morag had opened up to one of the most traumatic moments in her life, seeing her father getting carried into him and her mother's house because he'd been wounded in battle. So, at the instructions of her mother, she had run to the local general store to grab bandages and supplies to help tend to his wounds, and she came back to her childhood home ablaze. Before she went in to go help, she was her arms were held back. To her right was Ace, her newfound love, who professed, "You have wonderful things here. Don't go. We have a future together. Stay here with me." And to her left was Duncan, a bandit from the Dragon's Claw who she had befriended after the group had captured him, and he helped them get into the hideout, and she helped convince him to change his ways, along with the rest of the group. So he held on to her and said, "You've helped me so much. Don't go." And so in that moment, she shoved both of them away and ran to her house to try to get to her mother and father. And she reached the door just in time for the door to explode into her face. And then that's when she woke up. Then we moved on to Jen. Jen's was very different from everyone else's because it was not necessarily reliving a specific moment. It was a reminder of something that had happened and a realization that something may happen going forward. So she was confronted with a giant shadowy creature. She struck it with her, using her ki-powered monk fists. But instead of defeating the creature, it just dissipated and showed an image first of her first client, I guess would be the best way to put it.
She wasn't her first client. It was her first lover, though.
First lover. Okay, so my apologies there. So maybe not her first client, but the first client she felt a true connection with, even love. And an ominous voice saying that Jen could not protect her. And then the shadowy creature appeared again. She punched it, defeated it. But instead of, once again, it being defeated, it dissipated to show a picture of her current client, Flynn, who reiterated to her, "Don't worry about me, I'll be fine." And the shadowy creature telling her, "You can't protect him." And then and so she defeated the creature one more time, dissipated to this giant silver cloud that just thundered, "All will die." And with all of these different emotions hitting her at once, she just sat there and screamed. And that scream is what eventually woke her up.
Being into Flynn's head, it was happening like so intensely.
Yeah.
As I
Yeah.
No, ear piercing. Oh yeah, that's what
exactly.
you were doing. But yeah, it was just
Yeah.
one like long ear piercing.
Yep. Yep. And then lastly, Clancy had a dream where he was getting dressed back in an too familiar place. He was getting attended to by advisors and, servants and stuff like that. Getting ready to start his day in his luxurious palace. His family's luxurious palace. And as he left his bedroom, instead of the long hallway that led to the rest of the house, it led to this dark room with a single table on it. As he walked closer, he found on this table the body of his lover. The woman that he swore his life away for, his family and all that away, on the table. And as he approached, he was greeted by his mother and father berating him for falling in love with a commoner and needing to know better and things like that. And eventually, aunts, uncles, cousins, all family popping out of the shadows berating him. And his final words to them were, "You used to be able to control me. No, you don't control me. You can't control who I love." And that's when he woke up. And we left off with everybody gathered in Morag's room. Mm-hmm. Everyone basically not laying out every single detail of their dream, but basically, laying out the gist of what happened. Some people provided specific details, and some people kept it purposely vague.
I remember that Jen was very pale and very shaken.
Jen was very pale and very shaken, and you had always done your best to stay by Flynn through thick and thin. It felt like you were going to be attached at his hip going forward, that he wasn't going anywhere without you.
Mm-hmm.
Can't breathe.
Basically,
Which
mother you.
As Jen finally likes me.
Yeah,
Yay.
it's like no.
Maybe a little too close.
yes and no. So like I said, that's where we left off. There we were. And now what we're going to do is the plan for the campaign is we'll actually start doing the full-on role-playing a week into the future from right now. But what we're going to do is do a little bit of cleanup, some last minute like kind of tying up loose ends, and then going through what each person would like to do during that week. We could role-play as much or as little as each individual would like during that week sequence. And then from there, that will probably take us into our first break. And then from there, we will, if no one's opposed to it, we'll dive right into beginning anew. Yes, hands.
The game's
All right.
begin.
All right, so
Do it.
so we're gonna assume that everybody you guys got your nerves calmed enough to go back to bed to finish to get your long rest. I don't know if anybody wants to actually role play out what they do or not. It's not really consequence at this point. So if you say no, I can't sleep, that's fine. But we will go to the next morning, where as everybody kind of wakes up and kind of reevaluates what's happened, you guys, just for sake of brevity, you guys get yourselves cleaned up, organized. You make your way downstairs, and the attendant has left a note for you saying that, hey, Commander Icewind would like to see all of you in his office before you guys get started on your day. So, unless anybody wants to do anything specific besides, with this.
Not as of right now. It's just the next morning, correct?
Yeah, it's just the next morning.
Morning.
Okay.
Hey, did you guys see that notice?
Yes, but I don't particularly want to go right now.
Why? They have food.
Hello.
Right. I'd almost forgotten after last night that you like to eat a lot. Not going to lie. It was a bit of a bad night.
I'm gonna tell you a little secret. Just kind of leaning up. Halflings like to eat away their emotions.
Right. Well, I would like
About
to
right then is when
smack
Kira would come
something.
down the stairs. I'm starving. Where's food?
Another one.
Should be
Right.
answering.
So, well, I suppose we should just gather everyone and go then. If you all just want to eat first,
Where's Clancy?
probably
Clancy's
still asleep.
sitting-
Oh.
No. Clancy's sitting, sipping on a coffee.
Where's
I go up
Jen's
and I
probably-
smack the coffee out of his hand. I'm just kidding.
Jen's probably
Let's go.
Jen's probably sitting with Clancy, just watching Kim.
Clancy, where did you get that? Did you get food without us?
We have to go to the garrison to get food, don't we?
That's where we
That's
are.
where
No, you're at the
That's what- oh, I thought we were-
dormitories.
We're
They
at the
don't have
barracks.
food. They don't have
Yeah.
food in here. Oh,
No,
okay.
this is strictly like you come here.
That's how you
come
get
here to
bugs.
sleep.
I
Yeah.
mean, we're halflings. We probably have snacks in our room.
I mean,
Just
they might
saying.
have a jelly donut stored in their trunk, like.
Exactly.
They probably
is-
serve coffee. They probably serve coffee.
Yeah, I would
would
say
think
that.
so.
Yeah,
I
they
bet there's
have like coffee and tea and stuff like that. But it's not like it's not even like continental breakfast. So if you want actual
Yeah.
food, you
No.
do have to go to the barracks.
Is it like
the
something they make
garrison.
there, or is it something
It's
that
not
like the
food,
local
it's
tavern brings
refreshment.
over and just here you go,
Refreshment.
here's some coffee for the local like peeps?
So they make
This is
they
where
make
the-
it themselves. Yeah.
Oh, do they?
So
This is where the
yeah.
people that work for the garrison sleep. if need
the
to, right?
people that either can't afford to buy their own house, don't want to buy their own house, or have some other circumstance that says they don't have their own lodging, stay here.
Like that.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna look at Jen and Clancy and say, well, they would like to eat, so I suppose
Jen stands
should-
up. I'll definitely eat.
that's a third. Okay. We should go.
Jen Jen stands up on her chair to be like level with the table because Jen is only 2.5 feet tall. So.
Yeah. All right.
Morag,
So-
can I ride on your back?
No.
Let the
Okay.
Clydesdales
You know
begin.
what? You know what? And I'm just gonna kneel down on the ground and I say, let's go.
Whoa!
Jen's like, "Whoa, be careful."
It's fine. It's fine. Let's go, little sis.
Jen's eyes on Morag, like,
Don't ask questions. Just do it.
Alright. But I swear to God, if you say getty up, I'm gonna yeet you off of here so fast.
All right. All right. So Morag,
Lips
do
are
a quick
buttoned.
strength check for me.
I'm
roll
not
of the night.
Dominic anymore.
No, you're not.
Nope.
You don't have plus 12 to everything.
You're not super maxed.
Woo!
I weigh nothing. I haven't eaten yet.
That'll be an 18. Not bad.
Wow.
No worries. I mean, a little bit of like, you get that first like, when wit and stuff like this, you're like, oh, wait a minute, but then it's like, oh wait, no, it's fine, I got it. So,
Yeah.
no
like,
problems
this
at
is
all.
a person the size of a toddler.
Yeah. So no problem at all.
As I stand up, I'm just gonna say, maybe you shouldn't eat breakfast.
Getting chunky there, Flynn. She's like trying to make a joke.
I'm like grabbing my folds on my like hip. It's like I'm fine. The ladies still go after me. I mean, Jen still likes me.
Debatable.
Go faster.
I think you're the one that needs to go faster.
So, marching
Not
order.
me to worry about.
I'm guessing Morag is leading the way.
Jen's
Yeah.
right behind them.
Jen's right behind. Clancy and Kira.
Kira's definitely taking up the rear and like eyes over her shoulder, looking all around, clocking everybody she can, super paranoid style.
All right. All right. Would you say you're actively looking, or are you just gonna trust your passive perception?
She'd probably be actively looking.
Jen's
Okay.
on
The morning
lookout.
after that nightmare, she is definitely actively
Jen-
looking around.
Jen's on the lookout too, so I'd be.
All of a sudden, a
helping her
chimera
or whatever.
appears, isn't it?
All right.
It's a
All right.
wyvern. It's a wyvern.
All right. So I
Anytime.
guess. Have I ever told you about? No. No. We're done. We're done. Leaving that. That was fun. It's back there now.
Anytime
all right. So
that
then.
we're going by like a wagon or a cart or something that's making that like that noise, Flynn's just kind of look over, just kind of like not even wanting to look, but just kind of look to make sure that there's no people in the wagon.
Gotcha. Gotcha. All
I
right.
definitely
So.
thought
Oh, and Kira also flips her hood up
Flips
as
the
soon
hood
as
up,
they
yeah.
walk outside.
Yep. All right.
Like,
Yeah,
So-
Jen's got a headscarf.
All
Yeah.
right. So Kira
Meanwhile,
and
Morag is
Jen-
just. It's not,
Not a care in the
care
world.
in the world. Not a care in the world, but just more so like this is what I've lived with so far, so it's just a
There we go.
nightmare.
There you go. All right. So then
Fair.
Kira and Jen both roll perception checks for me.
Use Kira's dice for this. Because yes, my character, I did get dice specially for my character.
Yeah. Let's go to it.
Nice.
Kira dice.
I mean, I had them. I bought them when we first started this campaign. So
Natural
Wow.
15, so that's 18.
Natural 15.
my
So 18.
one good roll on the very first one. This is what are we rolling? Perception.
Perception. Yep.
Okay. That is a 25.
Oh,
I got a natural
wow.
19 on that one.
You know what? You say this is your one good roll. I'm gonna say this is the start.
The
It's
start of new.
the
I
trend.
hope
It's the
so.
trend.
I hope so.
It's the start
Maybe you finally found your
of
dice.
something new.
All right.
Maybe I found my dice. Maybe I just had to switch to Kira's dice.
There you go.
Maybe I need to buy
There you go.
Ashrin new dice.
Yeah.
All right. We've got
Seems
to...
legit. Christy needs new dice.
Yep.
Sorry,
All right.
Jeff.
Jeff,
dice.
take notes.
All right. So,
At least
Rolls
it-
for
at
it.
least the dice
Demacos
habit
needs a
takes
new
up less
pair of
space
pants.
than like a shoe habit or something.
yeah.
Exactly.
All right. So, all right. So, Jen, as you're actively looking around while trying to also kind of keep your eye on Flynn and Morag, Nothing really strikes you out of the ordinary. You see typical hustle and bustle, nothing too unfamiliar with this time of day. People on their way to work, on their way to open up markets, stuff like that. Kira, with your 25, you see the eye of God. No, I'm kidding.
You see that none of this is real. You're in the Matrix.
Red pill, blue pill.
The only
Kira
thing,
sees crispy.
Yeah. the one thing. All right. So as you're walking along, you notice because basically for those that don't have the Furon map in front of you,
I don't.
That's okay. The dormitories, the front door walks you out basically to like a T intersection before you would turn down one of the sides, turn down one of those T intersections to go to where the garrison is. So as you guys are making your way towards this intersection, Kira, you notice a man walking through the intersection. What he's basically doing is, if you're coming one way, if your group is going like one way, he's coming the opposite way towards you into the intersection. And then he looks around real quick, and then when you would turn like left to go down to where the garrison is, he turns his left, so he walks the opposite direction from you.
Mm-hmm.
And you notice, because you want to glance back to see what he's doing, you see a woman pretty much do the exact same move that he did.
As if they were following.
Do I recognize either of them?
They don't look familiar, no.
Knives out, wheeling and dealing.
Okay. I would probably try to clock as much of their appearance as I could, but not do anything about it.
Okay.
You just hear a shimmy in the distance.
Yeah, he was wearing something similar to what a higher end merchant would be wearing, so like nicer slacks, like a nice embroidered vest with a fairly, a fairly pristine long sleeve shirt under it, because this is the Starhel equivalent of April, so it's still a little chilly in the morning. And like a nicer overcoat, and she looks very similarly dressed in terms of like level of class.
Oh, it's
so
an
she's
affair.
So she's wearing like a nicer gown, coat, something like that.
And is this the nice part of town, or like would people be passing through, or is this like they're nice to the point where they're out of place with this part of town?
They are, for this part of town, this is the Iron Sword District, because this is where the garrison and the dormitories are. It slightly out of place. It's not. It wouldn't be like, oh my goodness, what are they doing here? This is like the seedy part of town. They should not be here at all. But it's also like, not a lot of this type of individual comes through the area. And you do notice that he is a human, like late-ish 40s, early 50s. And she is an elf. Elves are, unless you needed to get right next to her, elves are kind of hard to gauge their age. But you definitely know it's an elven woman.
You have to cut their head off and count the rings.
Essentially. They're trees. Elves are trees.
Their wrinkles only show up if you're really close. Like,
Yeah.
you have to
And
get
that's
really
if they're in their, like, 8 or 900s.
You gotta be this close.
I feel like I'm in my 8 or 900s. Does that count?
Yes.
Mood.
You're an elf.
Mood.
Okay.
Hashtag mood.
You might be an elf
Okay.
if.
All right.
Yeah.
So-
So yeah, she would just kind of clock that and then try to remember as much as she could about them so that she could keep an eye out for them in the future.
Makes sense. All All right, so you make your way. All right, so Clancy, is there anything specific? I'm sorry, I didn't get a chance. Is there anything specific you're doing along the walk back to the garrison?
No, Clancy is probably just kind of lost in his thoughts, just walking. Like he's obviously keeping up with everyone, but kind of just thinking about, his past and dealing with the royal family and stuff. So.
Sure, makes sense. All right, so you make your way to the garrison. You walk up to the front desk, and are you guys gonna go right back to Icewind's office first, or are you gonna go grab grub?
Food.
All right. All right. So you've been here enough times over the last couple days that you know exactly where you're going.
If I'm riding on Morag and she starts walking towards the stairs, I'm gonna be like, food, food.
You cannot steer me. I will meet with you all in a moment, and I just kind of like shrug him off of me.
Flynn, do you want to roll a dexterity savings throw?
I want to run to try to catch him too.
All right, so that would be dexterity for you as well. Dexterity check to see if you get there in time.
Acrobatics?
Sure.
You can do flips as you go to catch him.
I get a 22.
16.
Okay, so she shrugs you off, but somehow you manage to do like a flip in the air and like, yeah.
I'm like, what's Morag? You could have hurt him.
Rude.
He'll survive. It's only like a foot fall. It's fine.
Technically, for me, that would have been like 3
tall,
feet.
It's more than that.
All right. Don't get your knickers in a wad, okay? So you eat. I will meet you all in a moment. I'm gonna go find, oh my god, I've already forgotten his name.
Did you forget your
Iron
boo's name?
Fist McDookie Pants.
His wallet wasn't big enough, so he forgot his name.
Acrid Icewind?
Icewind. I'm going to go find Icewind. That's exactly what I said.
As soon as I land and I see that my
Why
feet,
don't you just wait for us? We can just eat and then go see him together. He wanted to see all of us.
Right. I've got a little something to talk to him about. Aside from this.
Well, what's going on?
You know how we had bad dreams last night?
Kind of shivers. She's like, yeah.
It's something to do with that.
Like if this was an NPC, I would want to be making an insight check.
I'm gonna walk up at that
If
point.
you want to.
Flynn's gonna walk up
at
at that point and just like grab a hold of Morag's non-metal hand. Take it. And take her hand in his, and then put his other hand on top. It's like, you okay, sis?
That is an 18. So would she be like? So would this be like deception because she's leaving something out? Like Jen's worried because of what's going on. Like she's worried because of Flynn. Like, and so she's worried that Morag is leaving things out and being untruthful. Like she's doing something weird. Like,
Are you purposely being vague for hiding something, or do you just not feel like telling them?
I just don't feel like telling them.
Okay.
I'm just checking to see if you're okay.
That's
You okay,
the
sis?
vibe you get. Yeah, the vibe you get is that she...
When Flynn asks, I'm just gonna say, I just want to see if he's found out anything about my parents.
Yeah, and that's the vibe you get, Jen, is that
Okay.
there's just... She's not being deceitful, she just doesn't feel like talking about it in any more detail.
all right. So Jen just kind of shrugs and walks off towards the cafeteria.
I'm just gonna look up and say, okay, you go do your thing. I'm gonna go get you an extra waffle.
A waffle? Wait, whoa. They have waffles?
You'd have to go and
why
find
do you
out.
think we're here? We're gonna go get waffles.
No, Icewind can wait. And I'm just gonna about face to the waffle.
There you go.
Oh,
All right,
cross
so...
that out of my note.
Kidding. All right, so you walk into the cafeteria. You get a lot of like going out traffic as you're walking in because it's around that time of day where the day shift is starting, and then night shift is like, I'm going to bed. So you do make it in there, but there's still they still have it because there's still some people lingering, so they haven't started cleaning up the buffet yet. But yep, they do absolutely have. They've got bacon. They've got scrambled eggs. There's like
Wait for a
a
slow
fruit
person.
pulp. There's like fruit there. There's some biscuits.
Halflings take 2 big plates
All right.
each to start.
All right.
I'm grabbing waffles, and these are my bread for everything else to go in between.
There you go.
It's a food.
And there appear to
Kira's
be.
protein loading, so it's all the eggs and bacon.
And at the
I'm gonna
end,
have a waffle.
there's a tray at the end that does appear to have about 2 waffles left in it.
Oh no. Okay, you can have them.
I'll just take one.
No,
You
you're.
split the other one, Flynn. She cuts it in half.
I'll just go get some extra bacon. And you have my waffle, and goes back and gets extra bacon and
Yeah,
potatoes.
Flynn and I will basically galoop back after Kira and everybody else
There
is
you
eaten
go.
and just like take whatever's left.
Potatoes.
Yeah. Clancy, are you with you still being lost in? Are you still in lost in thought, not having much of an appetite, or are you loading up like a regular breakfast?
He's probably just grabbing. Are there like fruits and stuff there?
Yeah.
Yeah,
fruit.
there's a tray of like fruit and stuff. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. He'll probably just grab like some fruits and some bacon and stuff.
What do you want?
Like,
Yeah, so.
Okay. Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. I got fruit snacks. Thank you.
I
Yay!
got fruit snacks.
Nice.
Oh yeah.
Thank you.
It's orange cream.
So, oh, and by the way, the people that are staying behind the buffet, I mean, they're not like serving or anything. It's self-serve, but they're just there to like, grab trays. There's a dwarf and a dragonborn that are sitting there going.
We'll clean this up for you.
Do you have any more?
Well, and the
Have you never had halflings on your crew before?
the dragonborn's
Might
like,
wanna get used to this.
I mean, the closest thing that we've had is like Goliaths that eat like that, and they're like, you know how big those suckers are, so.
Get out, either Goliath.
Oh, so wait a second. Is there no one else coming in behind us?
Yeah, we're late. We're a little
You
bit late for
saw
breakfast,
pretty
aren't we?
much, yeah. There's like day shift.
Oh, good.
Day shift is starting, and yeah, night shift basically just ended. So
That's
I
why I said
mean,
we can clear off the buffet.
We're literally just gonna grab the
Make sure
trays
Clancy
of
gets
food
some.
and bring it over to the table.
yeah. I mean, like anything that we didn't have, we were gonna go donate. So have at it, if you know.
Oh.
Upon
you make me
hearing
feel
that,
bad.
Kira
Yeah.
might put some back.
Oh. Well, we'll put this tray back.
Yeah,
we put back one
leave
tray.
the potatoes. We'll leave
Alright.
the potatoes. That's
they
nice
put back a
and
single
filling.
waffle.
Not all the potatoes.
We'll take
I mean,
a plate full of potatoes and
okay,
leave the tray.
okay. Oh, pills.
And the dwarf's like, much appreciated. The kiddos will thank you. Well, the kiddos thank you. So.
Oh, what do I have
Kiddos.
for me?
They have kids.
You just see
Yeah,
Well,
I wanna give
Kira would
them-
definitely perk up at that as well.
I want to give them 2 gold towards feeding the children.
Kiddos.
Yeah. They we
Is
take
there-
we take whatever we don't eat and we take it over to the local school and kind of help, because some kids they don't get a chance to eat when they're at home, so we try to,
Oh.
yeah.
Kira's gonna turn to the group and say, Lockjaw told us about that.
Yeah.
He told us that there's a group that takes care of the
Yeah.
kids.
So I'm
Yeah.
gonna give them 2 gold to go towards the feeding efforts.
All right, well,
I don't.
Much appreciated.
Kira, I don't have a lot of gold
Thanks
on
for
me. Do we
feeding
have
us.
something we could donate off the fund?
I gave it. It's okay. I got it.
Absolutely.
Oh, that's true. We do have that too.
I don't
forgot about
have.
that.
I don't have any
Rich.
gold on me. I've got like 3.
I've got the
I have
party
10,
funds.
that's
I just got
Party
to
funds?
find where I have the track.
Party funds.
There
It's
it
going to the party
is.
funds.
There was.
Yeah. I mean, if everyone's cool with it, Kira will take 5 gold out of the party funds
Yeah.
and hand it over.
Yeah.
I'll
5.
still give the 2, so that's 7 for him. Yeah.
All right. Well, and the dwarf kind of takes them and goes, wow, really much appreciated. You guys didn't even have to do that. That's really kind. Thank you. And you kind of see off to the side where all the food trays are, there's like kind of a chest where it's obviously like, people can drop donations in if they want to, and he kind of walks over and just drops it in there.
Yeah. All right. Now I don't feel so bad. We're good.
Okay. More meat.
All right. Well, enjoy your meal.
My face is buried in the trough.
All right,
While
so
I really just wanna
they
I was gonna
are-
say, what's the move while people are eating? So
While
Food.
they're stuffing their faces, I'm just gonna kind of look around, just like cutting into my waffles, and just say, so what exactly does everyone, or I suppose, does everyone have something specific they would like to discuss with Icewind, or is it just going to be discussing what he's called us for?
I actually, food. No, food. No.
Discussing food with Icewind.
Jen's
Yeah.
like looking around the room still, just to keep an eye on what's going on around us while she's eating. But when Morag, she's like, I do have a question about how to get communications out of Starhel.
Oh, that's a very good question. I would later, if it's okay with you all. I don't know exactly what the plan is for the rest of the day, or what is going to happen after Icewind. But I would like to go. And she literally talks into her cup. See Ace, if that's okay.
Oh yeah,
Ooh.
you would ya?
Don't do that. No.
Maybe we should have invited him for breakfast.
No, I just want to have I've got my private conversation. It's nothing.
No, I think
okay.
that's fair. A
Important.
little
You can have your private
a little
conversation.
one-on-one.
We're only family.
Don't make it weird.
Flynn.
Jen kind of annoyed, like irritatedly, like different mood than a moment ago. Just like, leave it alone, Flynn.
Oh, jeez. Oh, fine. I'll just go back to my potatoes. Sheesh.
Morag looks at Jen and just kind of like, thank you.
She nods and just keeps looking around the room and eating.
Kira's gonna pipe up and say, I didn't have anything in particular to talk to Icewind about. Oh, and also, by the way, she's positioned herself so that she can watch all the entrances and windows. Because that's her new life. Well, I mean, it was always her life, but now it's like extra.
yeah. Well, there was only the one entrance in and out, and then the windows were like, this wasn't a very like windowed room, so they're like higher up and like slits. So essentially.
Yeah, but Kira also knows who she's watching for, or at least the
This is true.
types of people she's
Alright.
watching for.
I just wanted to give you
Not that they
what the
would- not
room
that,
looked
like-
like.
I appreciate that. Not that the garrison would necessarily be a target, but she's like paranoia impersonated at the moment. So,
That's fair.
yeah.
All right, Clancy.
Clancy is just like staring at his plate right now. Not really saying.
Okay.
Now that Flynn's really starting to fill up a bunch and such, and is just really like starting to slow down a bit, and he just kind of looks over at Morag and yeah, I'd like to ask Icewind about something as well. Just I haven't quite formed the words yet.
Well, I have a thought then. How about we all go and have a chat with Mr. Icewind, and then if you all want to stay and talk with him, I do have some errands to run around town afterwards. So does that make sense? You guys
That
can
works.
stay and chat
Makes
if you need
sense.
to.
Yeah. For sure.
Where are you off? Are you going to be gone the day?
Well, I mean, like outside of roleplay, that we wanted to roleplay this thing with Icewind, and then like have the week, and
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't have
gotcha.
anything other
Okay.
particular. So I was just like, after the thing with Icewind, Kira's gonna go do her
And Jen's
week,
just
probably.
like a little extra on edge about like what everyone's doing right now. That's all.
That's fair.
And
That's fair.
Before we go
It's
talk,
just some. I want to make a few connections if I can, and do some shopping.
Oh yeah, definitely. I actually want to perform a bunch too. Before we go talk to Icewind, could we actually take a break?
Yeah, absolutely.
Awesome.
Yeah. So I was just gonna ask if there was anybody else have anything they wanted to kind of say or play out at the moment. Are we good? Excellent. All right. Well, you guys wrap up breakfast, and we will go ahead and take a short break. So go grab a stretch, go grab some food, go grab a drink, and we'll be back in a little bit.
Cockney rhyming speak, so I have something. I'm gonna butcher it, so I apologize ahead of time.
Yes,
So I'm going to respond. I'm gonna respond. We're having a butchers for some real bucks that have been off-inching some bees and honey. These tea leaves have been showing their boats around the frogs and scoppering off. There's been some real bonny over it. We're helping out the ducks and geese to stay out of a flowery dell, and you'd be a real treacle tot if you could pass along any brass tacks.
Looks at you, Morag.
It wasn't about taking away your choices. It was about putting magic in the right hands.
Nice. I like it.
Nice.
Hat off.
Very
second.
Now I want to hear
Literally.
that in Dominic's voice.
Yeah.
I will gladly give you a hug if you please sneeze into this jar. Thank you.
Cause we feel alright, let me build up your might as I sing my song. Care to sing along? I'll be doing this till you knock 'em down, or the songs run out, or the songs run out.
Yay.
Yeah.
I'm so inspired right now.
Yeah. You got to perform, but outside of that, yeah.
Absolutely. My inspo makes all the rolls less hard, and you all can thank this bard. And you're damn right. I pulled that card, and I could teach you, but I'd have to charge.
Love it.
Woo!
A round of applause. Round of applause.
Give him a hand.
And
Y'all were like, "Whoa, what are you doing?" So
21.
That's fair.
Jesus.
Oh,
On a stealth check?
It's +7.
this little boy
Jesus.
has a mission.
Oh,
today,
for
apparently.
dexterity.
How do you have so many huge pluses?
And so just
I've
to
got
be
a
clear,
lot of
Dee,
huge
you're, like,
things that you
literally
don't know
right.
about.
Like,
That needs to be clipped.
Good job.
y'all.
Or multi-classing to tie into your character development. Oh, we lost Bill. Oh, now he's back. To tie into your character development and to tie into the story that's happening that you may or may not have control over. Like, the stuff that happened that made that happen was more...
And that's perfect.
Ever.
I'm completely off the rails. That's amazing. I love it. That's
Hashtag new profile pic.
All right, so
Those are fighting words.
are we showing Dominic to your room or going out for dinner? And
Yeah,
then...
show me to your room, Caddy.
Caddy daddy.
Wow. Wow. Glad it wasn't me this time. I'm innocent. I'm innocent this time.
I
Not
told
me.
you I'm sleep deprived.
And he's out of earshot at this point.
I'm just gonna yell back, thank you!
Bang bang.
With my gauntlets. I'm not petty at all.
Nope. Not at all. Why don't you go on and head down to my office? I got some I want to discuss with you, just to, clear up timelines and whatnot. Duncan's like,
I don't like that.
Duncan's like, yeah, sure. I mean, makes sense. I was gone for a while, and I show up without it. Yeah, so it makes sense. Deviant's like, I appreciate that. Gives him a pat on the back.
Yeah, the music sounds great, but I can't hear you at all. Oh, there it is.
So that was
Oh no, so they didn't hear the
Pro Strim!
Professional streamer.
absolutely professional.
Yep.
That is what we do.
I want to do this for real when I grow up.
Cockney rhyming speak. So I have something. I'm gonna butcher it, so I apologize ahead of time.
Yes,
so I'm going to respond. I'm gonna respond. We're having a butchers for some real bucks that have been off-inching some bees and honey. These tea leaves have been showing their boats around the frogs and scoppering off. There's been some real bonny over it. We're helping out the ducks and geese to stay out of a flowery dell, and you'd be a real treacle tot if you could pass along any brass tacks.
Looks at you, Morag.
It wasn't about taking away your choices. It was about putting magic in the right hands.
Nice. I like it.
Nice.
Hat off.
Thank you.
Very second, decent.
Now I want to hear that in Dominic's voice.
Yeah.
I will gladly give you a hug if you please sneeze into this jar. Thank you.
Cause we feel alright, let me build up your might as I sing my song. Care to sing along? I'll be doing this till you knock 'em down, or the songs run out, or the songs run out.
Yay!
Yeah!
I'm so inspired right now.
Yeah. You got to perform, but outside of that,
Absolutely. My inspo makes all the rules less hard, and you all can thank this bard, and you're damn right. I pulled that card and I could teach you, but I'd have to charge.
Love it.
Woo!
A round of applause. Round of applause.
Give him a hand.
A hand.
Y'all were like, "Whoa, what are you doing?" So
Yeah.
21.
That's fair.
Jesus.
Oh,
On a stealth check?
It's +7.
this little boy
Jesus.
has a mission.
Oh,
today,
for
apparently.
dexterity.
how do you have so many huge pluses?
And so just
I've
to
got
be
a
clear,
lot of
Dee,
huge
you're, like,
things that you don't
literally
know about.
That needs to be clipped.
Good job.
Y'all.
Or multi-classing to tie into your character development. Oh, we lost Bill. Oh, now he's back. To tie into your character development and to tie into the story that's happening that you may or may not have control over. Like, the stuff that happened that made that happen was more...
And that's perfect.
Ever.
I'm completely off the rails. That's amazing. I love it.
Hashtag new profile pic.
All right, so
Those are fighting words.
are we showing Dominic to your room or going out for dinner? And
Yeah,
then...
show me to your room, Caddy.
Caddy daddy.
Wow. Wow. Glad it wasn't me this time. I'm innocent. I'm innocent this time.
I
Not
told
me.
you I'm sleep deprived.
And he's out of earshot at this point.
I'm just gonna yell back, thank you!
Bye.
Bang bang!
With my gauntlets. I'm not petty at all.
Nope. Not at all. Why don't you go on and head down to my office? I got some I want to discuss with you, just to, clear up timelines and whatnot. Duncan's like,
I don't like that.
Duncan's like, yeah, sure. I mean, makes sense. I was gone for a while, and I show up without it. Yeah, so it makes sense. Deviant's like, I appreciate that. Gives him a pat on the back.
Yeah, the music sounds great, but I can't hear you at all. Oh, there it is.
So that was pro.
Oh no, so they didn't hear the
Pro
Yeah.
stream!
Professional streamer.
absolutely professional.
Yeah.
That is what we do.
I want to do this for real when I grow up.
Cockney rhyming speak, so I have something. I'm gonna butcher it, so I apologize ahead of time.
Yes,
so I'm going to respond. I'm gonna respond. We're having a butchers for some real bucks that have been off-inching some bees and honey. These tea leaves have been showing their boats around the frogs and scoppering off. There's been some real bonny over it. We're helping out the ducks and geese to stay out of a flowery dell, and you'd be a real treacle tot if you could pass along any brass tacks.
Looks at you, Morag.
It wasn't about taking away your choices. It was about putting magic in the right hands.
Nice. I like it.
Nice.
Hat off.
Now I want to hear that in Dominic's voice.
Yeah.
I will gladly give you a hug if you please sneeze into this jar. Thank you.
Cause we feel alright, let me build up your mind as I sing my song. Care to sing along? I'll be doing this till you knock 'em down, or the songs run out, or the songs run out.
Yay!
Yeah!
I'm so inspired right now.
Yeah. You got to perform, but outside of that,
Absolutely. My inspo makes all the rules less hard, and you all can thank this bard, and you're damn right. I pulled that card and I could teach you, but I'd have to charge.
Love it.
Woo!
A round of applause. Round of applause.
Give him a hand.
A hand.
Y'all were like, "Whoa, what are you doing?" So
Yeah.
21.
That's fair.
Jesus.
Oh,
On a stealth check?
It's +7.
this little boy
Jesus.
has a mission.
Oh,
today,
for
apparently.
dexterity.
how do you have so many huge pluses?
And so just
I've
to
got
be
a
clear,
lot of
Dee,
huge
you're, like,
things that you
literally
don't know about.
Like,
That needs to be clipped.
Good job.
y'all.
Or multi-classing to tie into your character development. Oh, we lost Bill. Oh, now he's back. To tie into your character development and to tie into the story that's happening that you may or may not have control over. Like, the stuff that happened that made that happen was more...
And that's perfect.
Ever.
I'm completely off the rails. That's amazing. I love it. That's
Hashtag new profile pic.
All right, so
Those are fighting words.
are we showing Dominic to your room or going out for dinner? And
Yeah,
then...
show me to your room, Caddy.
Caddy daddy.
Wow. Wow. Glad it wasn't me this time. I'm innocent. I'm innocent this time.
I
Not
told
me.
you I'm sleep deprived.
And he's out of earshot at this point.
I'm just gonna yell back, thank you!
Bye.
Bang bang!
With my gauntlets. I'm not petty at all.
Nope. Not at all. Why don't you go on and head down to my office? I got some I want to discuss with you, just to, clear up timelines and whatnot. Duncan's like,
I don't like that.
Duncan's like, yeah, sure.
This.
Hey!
Hey!
Are we here? Or are we not here?
I'm trying to be better
I'm not
about
We're here.
not
I see us on
awkwardly
the little screen.
transitioning.
We
Yeah.
are here.
Yes, I'm trying to be better about not awkwardly transitioning.
But it makes it
So
more
did we awkwardly
fun.
transition or not?
Well, then maybe I'll start
We
doing
have
that again next
transitioned.
week.
Yes, we are live.
Okay.
Yes, Weesby live. So
Weesby.
Weesby live.
Ooh, I hear
so
bagpipes.
Bisbee.
I'm
yep.
super excited. I hear
Yep.
bagpipes.
So hope everybody got to enjoy their break. You got something to drink, something to eat, stretched your legs, got a blanket maybe because
I
your
hope
legs
you
are
didn't just
cold.
sit there.
I don't know. I mean, I sat here almost the whole time, so it's fine.
I'm
I'm
cold.
talking about our viewers. I hope they got up and did.
I hope they got up and got. Or you could have sat and watched our lovely clips reel that was running the whole time that played back some of our fun moments. So don't forget, clips help us out, and your clip might be able to make a new reel. We'll have to see.
Clips
Good
are
stuff.
life. Clips are love.
So, you guys wrapped up your breakfast, and as a group are making your way back to Icewind's office. You get there, you do the knock, or who knocks, I guess, or does anybody knock? All right, so you knock, and you hear.
D is the one who knocks.
Okay.
I'm gonna slide in on my knees.
All right, so when Morag knocks, you hear, "Come in." You open the door.
Flynn Leaf Walker has arrived.
Oh my god.
And you
He
see
did that awesome song last time.
he did fantastic. So he did. So sitting at his desk, as you've normally seen him, with multiple scrolls laid across his desk, and seeing him filling stuff out, is Commander Acrid Icewind. For those who are unfamiliar, need a quick refresher. He is a blue dragonborn and commander of the Furan garrison. So he looks up and he says, "Oh, thank you for coming in. Please have a seat." And he gestures to the chairs, and just like before, there's 5 chairs laid out in front of you.
Jen's has her elbow up on the seat of a chair.
There you go. All right,
I'm
so
gonna
he
sprawl
said,
out across an entire
Standing
chair.
cross-armed by the door.
all right.
Do I do
Alright.
the same thing I did last time I was in this office and sit
Sup-
down and immediately put my feet on his desk?
It's up to
or...
you. Do you want to?
Would Morag?
No. It's
No.
fine.
WWMD.
Yeah.
What would Morag do?
What would Morag?
Get it on a bracelet.
Flip
That's
the
a good
desk.
idea for a TikTok thing. What would your character do in like a everyday
desk.
situation?
That would be fun, actually. Good one. Write
Flip
that
the
down.
desk and
fun.
give him a hug.
Yeah. No, that's what she's gonna do with Ace later.
Whoa.
Flip the
She's
table
gonna
and give
give
him
him
a
an
hug.
extra friendly hug.
Yeah. All right. So anyway, everyone positions themselves in the room accordingly, and
Grabbing a dragonborn's butt cheeks, would that be scaly?
anyway, Icewind finishes signing on the, filling out the document he was reading, puts it aside, puts his writing utensil aside, and said, "I wanted to thank you once again, bring you in and thank you once again for, taking care of the Dragon's Claw. It had been a problem for months, as you know, and I appreciate you being the ones to finally take it down. The Starhel Chronicle, the local chapter of the Starhel Chronicle, wanted, because, they have their sources, as, they somehow do, and I wanted to squelch where that source comes from, but one of their reporters found out that that this group had been defeated before I could formally announce it today. You could see he's obviously annoyed by that. He said, but they did approach to interview, because obviously they didn't find out, they don't know who took this group out, took the Dragon's Claw out, but they did want to set up an exclusive interview to get your side of the story or the telling of the adventure efforts you took to take down the group. So I told them I couldn't guarantee it, but I would at least approach you to see if anybody would be interested in being interviewed.
I mean, wouldn't mind if I did.
I assumed as much.
When do we start?
If they don't want him, I suppose. But I would really rather not.
Well, the offer was extended to the whole group, so you can either all do it, some of you do it, or none of you do it. It's entirely entirely up to you.
You don't have to worry
My
about
statement
it.
still stands.
Yeah, I'll be there with Flynn. But
I
suppose he can do most of the
prefer
talking.
not to be there, or really have my name in the paper at all.
Right, they're not going to print our actual names, are they?
That is, I told the Starhel Chronicle is aware of our guidelines regarding revealing identities, so they only do it at the request or at the approval of the person being interviewed. So.
All right.
They will,
So we could
if you
remain
wish not to
nameless?
provide your name, they will use your preferred pronoun for an indicator of
We'll,
whatever you wish.
I will confide in my compatriots, and we'll come up with a group name by that point, I think.
Oh, good
You know,
lord. The
that
worst
is-
part of every D&D party coming up with a group name.
There you go, good time.
It's not going to
Um,
be Flynn and the Leaf Walkers.
That was the band. I don't know if that's the group name, but that was the fake
Outruled.
band.
That was the band. That's our cover. It's not
That's
the
your
same
cover.
group name. We'll come
Yeah.
up with something.
All right. So,
We'll
all
be
right,
the
so,
Dragon's Bane.
all right. So Icewind said, "All right, I'll send a message over to the Chronicles office. If none of you are familiar with with where it is, we can, the person up front can give you directions to where it is, and I would tell them they'd meet you over there in an hour. If that would be sufficient for whoever is going to do the interview, unless there's more time you would want."
Maybe tomorrow?
I'm sure. Yeah. Okay.
Well, you said tomorrow, and you said okay. So
I say tomorrow because, as well as we work together, names aren't really our strong suit. So, to think of a good name, maybe tomorrow would be best. And I just kind of look at Flynn like, I don't know about this showbiz kind of stuff.
I mean, she was my manager too. No.
That was
I mean,
odd.
okay, I understand. It's okay. Not everyone's cut out for this. We can totally do that. We'll do it tomorrow. We'll have everything all arranged by that point, and we'll have a much better idea of what we'll be talking about. We'll get our thoughts collected for this versus just flying off the cuff.
So what-
Or we could do it both.
What exactly are they looking to find out from us?
just your telling of the story, it's between you and me. It's just gonna be a fluff piece talking about how great you guys were and how big of a service you did to the city.
Flynn's
It's one of those stories that's meant to help people feel good about what's going on, because everybody in Furon knew that this group had been causing problems. I'm sure you probably were aware of that when you were first started investigating this on your end. So
Absolutely. That's what I'm all about.
Yeah, so it's just quite literally they want to hear about how awesome you guys did and how much of an epic adventure it was to defeat them. I wouldn't.
We did
honestly
awesome
put too
because
much
we
stock
are
into it.
awesome.
Yeah, I wouldn't put too much stock into it above that, honestly.
Oh, well. I mean, we can always
Flynn put stock in everything.
Can they put a song in the paper? We could perform this.
No, they can't put a song in.
That'd be
I don't-
something you'd
I
have
don't
to
know
bring
that
up with them.
Translates that well.
Ooh,
Maybe a good
I'm gonna have to
poem.
talk to the lad. We could talk to the closest tavern, and we could actually perform this on stage too. Yes. Okay. I like you, Ice, when you're giving me great ideas.
He keeps saying we. I don't.
Yeah, no,
that
that's not going to
tambourine was a one time, but I'm not repeating that.
Kira,
I can avoid
you
it.
liked it. You were great.
I'm not. You're being very nice, Flynn, but that's not. That's.
I am very
not
nice, but
something
I
would
am not
happily
doing it
watch you
justice.
perform a song in a tavern if you'd like.
So I would like
I
it
will
known.
watch.
None of us would. We probably want this. Definitely, our names left out of it. We'll think of a
Yeah.
name for them to call us.
Perfectly
Especially
fair. Like I
Clancy,
said,
it's his
yeah.
name out because I mean people who know who the Lionhearts are, they hear his name, they're like, oh, man.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. So Icewind said, reiterates once again, like that's perfectly fine. If you don't want your names printed, just let them know what your preferred pronoun is, and they'll write it from there. They've had enough dealings with me to know that if something gets printed that's not up to what you guys would want, then we're gonna have issues. They know we're gonna have issues. So.
Oh, is this the part on the paper where it asks me what sex I am?
No.
No.
He looks very confused. No.
I would like to personally apologize for this one, and I just kind of gesture at Flynn.
Hey,
And Jen's just rolling her eyes.
you like it.
Was there anything?
Apology accepted.
Thanks you. Was there anything else, or was this?
I guess I'll run the message over. Is there a time of day that you would prefer to head over there to meet with the interviewer?
Preferably in between meals.
After lunch.
After lunch? Okay.
Yeah.
All right, so I will let them know
after
that.
first lunch or second lunch.
No, there's only one lunch.
Yeah. Yeah. But there's no time in between 11Cs and lunch.
And second breakfast. And
Yeah.
so-
All right, so I'll let them know that you'll arrive between lunch and dinner time tomorrow.
Lunch and tea time.
Lunch and tea time. All right. You'll have to remind me what tea time is. I'm not sure.
Too many meals.
Never enough
apologies.
meals.
About two or three in the afternoon. Just just something to get you between lunch and dinner, before supper, all that stuff.
Yeah.
That's
Can we bring food
absolutely
with
fair.
us?
We should totally be over snacks.
Yeah.
Maybe we
I
could be.
guess
yeah.
you can figure that out when you get there.
Sure.
All right. Well, if for those not familiar with Furan, we can, the individual up front can, give you a direction of where it is. So,
Do you have pen and paper?
He looks at the stack of paper next to him and the pen he was writing. Yes.
Can I borrow these for a minute? I'm just going to take them.
Yeah. Okay.
Flynn, what are you doing?
I'm just taking it. I'm just like over here. I'm just kind of scrawling something. How well can Flynn draw?
Make a dexterity check to see how well you can draw.
Oh God! I
that's
rolled
great.
a 1.
Six figures.
So you are so excited about the ideas you're getting that it's chicken scratch at this point. No one knows what it is.
That's great. This is.
It turns into like an ink blot test.
It's like imagine like a 2-year-old doing a drawing because they're really excited about drawing that tiger. That's basically what Flynn did.
Yeah.
But you're really excited that you drew it.
That's kind of close. Kind of close. Okay. I got a question for you after. Yeah.
Once again, looking confused. Okay.
Anybody who's looking at it probably
Icewind
can't.
probably looks confused most
Probably
of the
anybody
time.
who's
when
looking
he
at it has
does.
no idea what it is. No clue.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
looks nothing like what was in my dream.
Fair. Oh, well, in that case, that
uh,
changes the description. Then it's not you were so excited about drawing it. It was you as you were starting to draw it, you were kind of reliving
yeah,
that, and then also you were already kind of in that weird mindset because you were checking the wagon wheels and kind of like trying to look into it. So you were in a weird mindset as it is. So as you started drawing it, you started reliving that once again a little bit, which is why the drawing ended up not being what you had pictured it from the dream.
Yeah, that's kind of close. I don't even want to look at it.
Yeah. All right. But to answer, I think it was Morak's question. He said, "Well, that was all I wanted to do because obviously, a matter like this, I wanted to make sure that you were aware of what was being asked and make sure you were comfortable with whatever action you took before I let them know what you wanted to do. So that was it for me."
Aw, you're so considerate.
Absolutely understand, and thank you.
We love you, Boo Blue.
Boo boo.
Don't ever call me that.
On that
Ever.
note, Kira's gonna take a step or two forward and just say, "Well, if that's all that you have for us, I'm gonna go grab the directions to that office from the folks up front. And I think a few of us had some other things that they wanted to talk about."
All right. Well,
So-
you can see yourself out. Otherwise, once again, thank you for everything you've done for the city of Furan.
Thank you, Sep. And she's just gonna step up next to Jen and say, I'll catch up with you all later, maybe at lunch or dinner."
As she's walking out, Jen says, "Be careful out there. Better come back."
Oh my god, look at that wind.
Let's see it.
She just kind of does one of these, like, as she's, like, not turning around, just like as she's walking out the door.
All right. So then he turns to everyone and that's left and says, "Well, is there any other matters you wish to discuss with me at this time?"
No. So Clancy's gonna be like, do you know anywhere where I can get my knife sharpened?
Well, we do have a couple blacksmiths in town. You can, as always, check, recommendations up front. They can give you, locations of, whether you want it done cheaply or have it done really well. They can give those, options to you, and, you can make the choice from there. So.
Do you have anyone you prefer?
He kind of looks at his, he has a giant hammer, kind of propped up on a stand, like in the corner of the room. He looks at it and then turns back to you, Clancy, and goes, "I'm very particular with how my weapons are maintained, so I take care of it myself."
Have you ever sharpened knives before?
Are you going to ask me to sharpen your knives for you?
Or
I
maybe
thought
who
that would-
would you recommend if it wasn't going to be you working on your weapon?
Well, Clancy's looking for the best person
Yeah.
to.
Okay. All right. Well, if it were up to me, there is a blacksmith. Let me pull up the map again. Where's my mouse? Where's my? Oh my god, I have too many monitors. I don't know where my mouse is. Oh,
First world problems.
no, it's because my my mouse, like, when it's not moving, it shuts off to save battery. So I
Oh,
had to,
yeah,
You
yeah,
have
yeah.
to click. Yeah.
I had to like
He has
I had to
a
click.
monitor for each individual Discord window.
You guys, I'm like, those stereotypical scenes from like the stock market brokers when there's like 8 monitors. That's what I got right now.
There you go.
Yep. Yep.
All right. So he said, all right. So he thinks for a moment. He says, "Well, there is there's a blacksmith that's over by the docks ward that was right on the fringe of being reasonably priced and still doing a fairly good job. That's honestly where I would go." Ironically enough, because not only it's an odd place, because not only do they do weapons for, like blacksmithing for weapons and stuff, they also make weapons for ships that come in and out of the harbor for, to protect against privateers and stuff like that.
Oh.
It's a really odd place, but it's it's best quality for the price you would pay. So.
All right. So, Clancy's like, all right, thank you for your time.
Yep. You can get the name and the details from the attendant up front.
All right, and then Clancy's gonna head out of his office at that point.
Okay.
I've got a few questions for you, if that's okay. I
Absolutely.
remember when we first met, I asked you if you knew anything about the Drummond family, and you said that you didn't really. I was just wondering if you knew anything about the Lions thing, or where I could find some information about the Lions thing.
He's a pretty stoic guy. Roll a perception check.
Got a natural 18.
Oh. Nice.
That's a 21.
So he's a pretty stoic guy. At the mention of the lion's fang, you notice like an eyebrow raise up.
Whoa.
And
You just got a big reaction.
it's about as big as you normally would get from Icewind. And so he kind of raises his eyebrow and he goes, I've heard rumors about a group like that. Where did you hear about this?
If I told you, I don't think that you would believe me. A dream. It literally came to me in a dream. I really don't know. And that's why I'm trying to find some information on it. I believe it might lead me to my father.
Well, I will say that, groups like the Dragon's Claw that have been not only taking, raiding caravans and stuff like that, but they've been rumored to harbor old ideologies. Not sure if you could confirm any information like that or not.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. Truly.
They have traps to destroy anyone using magic in their outposts.
They sure did. I'm over this scrolling.
That raises another eyebrow. Really? Well, then that confirms at least some of the rumors that we, the fellow garrison commanders, and have been kind of hearing about a larger network made up of former military, former Lionheart military, that may possibly be a part of or funding some smaller groups.
And their golems are resistant to physical damage.
Interesting. So, I wish I could give you more. Nobody's been able to. No garrison commander has reported being able to pin down any more information beyond what they've gotten from, smaller bandits that have been captured, similar to the young man that you had brought in the other day. Stuff like that. So rumor mill, but that's the one kind of consistent name we've heard.
The Lion's Fang.
Mm-hmm.
Would you say that it's more consistent than the Dragon's Claw?
The Dragon's Claw, you have to realize, was just the name this small group here had given themselves to sound into. I believe it was only just to sound intimidating.
Faction of the line.
That's kind of what we and the other garrison commanders around the whole country have been kind of speculating, that there's other groups that maybe give themselves different names, but are backed, funded, have their troops supplemented, what have you, by this other entity that is named the Lion's Fang.
And you think that it's old military members from the Lionheart?
The name gives it away, in my mind.
Right. It sounds like it would be loyalists to the crown.
That's, once again, we've no garrison commanders reported ever being able to pin down a person that's claimed to be a member of the Lion's Fang. So it's all kind of, we're hearing it secondhand or speculation. But if I was a gambling individual, that's where I would be putting my money.
So no one's actually seen anyone or come into contact with anyone in the Lion's Fang?
It could be confirmed to be an alliance thing.
Yeah. The most we've gotten have been low level, like, oh, my boss has a meeting set up, or, stuff like that. Just secondhand accounts.
Have you thought to maybe look into old militia members to see if anything, a description rings a bell?
You have to realize most of the old Lionheart military died during the Revolution. There's, a few individuals here or there that were a part of the military that turned to our side during the Revolution. So, there may be a few of them that that you can try to talk to, but most of the military, was either imprisoned or died during the conflict. Most of them died, and a few were imprisoned, and then even fewer had either turned prior to the Revolution or forsook. That does not sound like the right word.
Forsook.
Sounds like an orc
previous
name.
titles and
I am
stuff like
forsook.
that. Something like that.
So are you worried at all about moles or defectors? Or not defectors, but people who are still loyal to that cause that might be playing the other side here?
Any good garrison commander will say absolutely not. Any realistic garrison commander will say there's always a possibility.
You said that some of them were imprisoned. Are they still in prison?
That you'd have to go. Most of the revolutionary, or most of the loyalist military that did not, change sides or die during the revolution are imprisoned in the main prison in Weinan.
Oh yeah.
So that would be your best bet, because that's for most of the capital punishment type prison sentences are housed there. So that would be a place, if you were looking to question somebody for anything like that, you start there, I would guess.
And what about the few who turned to this side? Are any of them here, or are they also in Weinan?
Well, there's most of them, oddly enough, most of them were older commanders. So shortly, before the revolution or during the revolution, they turned sides, but, due to, old age or during combat, they passed away. I gotta pull up
If only we had an old storytelling dwarf.
Let me tell
guy who
you
fought a wyvern?
about...
Sorry,
I
that
told
just
you a
reminded me.
story about a wyvern.
Yeah.
That just reminded me, Tony. I was supposed to ask you. I have a note in my last notebook about asking the mechanics of the history book that's in the bag of holding right now.
Yep.
Not that would help you all, because I just walked away with it. But
Yep. And he sits there and he goes. All right. So he sits there and he goes. Come to think of it, there is someone you might be able to talk to if this is something you're interested in pursuing.
Absolutely.
He doesn't really like talking about what happened prior to him joining the side of the revolution. And Morag, ironically enough, you'll know this name. And well, Clancy, you're not there. The commander of the Archaeus garrison.
I've been there.
Yep. He goes by a different name. He goes by a different last name these days because honestly, he likes to kind of keep it on the. He kind of likes to keep his past. Those that know, but he doesn't like to let people know. That would be Commander Seamus. He tends to just go by Seamus, but his full name is Commander Seamus Lionheart.
Oh.
Okay.
So,
Seamus, is still in Archaeus, correct?
yeah, he's actually one of the longest tenured garrison commanders because he volunteered to run the garrison at Archaeus shortly after the revolution.
Right.
So
Right. No, I've met him.
yeah, well, like I said, he tends to kind of keep his past in the past from people he was not there with.
Right. I can understand. Oh, well. I suppose I've got a letter to write. Thank you for your help.
Pleasure. Hope you find what you're looking for one way or another.
Thank you. I've got another Dragonborn to see now. And then I just turn around.
Goodbye.
And I leave.
Goodbye.
You behave yourself.
No.
Don't do anything I would do.
And I just close the door behind me.
I'm gonna
use protection from the.
I'm gonna walk over. Oops, sorry. I'm gonna walk over. I'm gonna put his pen back, and then I'm gonna take the paper. I'm gonna slap it down right in front of him with a picture upwards, right in his face, and be like, "Are you familiar with that?"
I once did a presentation to the kids at the Furan school, and I believe one of them drew something similar to that.
I'm gonna grab the paper. I'm gonna turn it back around and look at it. I'm gonna turn it back to him. You've seen kids with this?
That was a joke. I have no idea what that is.
Let me just tell you, my friend.
I tried to make a joke. Oh.
I could give.
Just like.
Oh my god.
I could give you a pointer or two on some jokes there, my friend, but this is not a joke. Are you familiar with the basilisks?
Thinks for a moment. They're banned, aren't they?
Does this look like a band symbol?
I would try to make a joke, but apparently I need pointers on making jokes, so.
Oh,
Just gotta put it back. Just gotta put it back. You hold on to that. You hold on to that just in case you should see it around. But the Basques are some bad people, and I want to know if you had known anything about it, because I kind of on the watch for them.
Well, if you're into, and he's trying to like his best to keep his stoic composure while looking at this child's drawing. I would say that if you're starting to look into anything about bands or musical groups, you would either check with Eden or Sabot, because those are the two big areas that bards and performers tend to work and find work and things like that.
Yeah. I'm just gonna kind of throw a stink eye over at Jen.
She immediately gets serious.
I have been to Eden, and this is where I ran into them. And let me tell you, what I thought for them to be a musical group, they are not a musical group. They deal with people in another way. And it's a very bad way.
All right, so he gets back to that serious composure, and he goes, well, anything like that, I would definitely bring up to the Eden Garrison Commander.
Okay, I just wasn't sure if you had heard anything about them, if there was anything about them in this area, because they do go to the border.
Well, we are bit of the ways out of the way from most of the paths. You're talking about the Defender's Wall, I'm guessing?
I am.
Yeah, well, we don't get many groups going that way because the main path down that way is, several 100 miles that way. So coming this way would be kind of going out of the way for a group like that. If what you're implying is, in fact, what's happening. But like I said, if it's something where you... Let me get the world anvil up, because I gotta remember names.
That's good. Because, I wouldn't figure they'd do that, but I just want to make sure. Because if they had gotten into the trouble they should get into, they might try to find another way around,
Yeah.
And if they're not out here yet, that's good. That's good. That's good for you.
Yeah, so I would say if you want to pursue anything like that, Strongbow is the commander of the Eden Garrison. Definitely bring something like that along with any information you may have. That would be a good place to start.
Strongbow. Noted. Okay. Right. Yeah, and you should definitely hold on to that. Take that image, keep it safe, put it on your wall, put it on your fridge, whatever you do whatever you gotta do to make sure that's burned into your memory.
I'll hang it next to my nephew's report card. I will, and in all seriousness, he's like, I will hang on to this. And he takes it and puts it in, like, the top desk drawer, but in a desk drawer, and just closes it.
He frames it on the wall.
By Icewind. By Icewind, of all people, who's, like, the least likely to have a sense of humor.
Yeah.
Well, that's why he said I was telling a joke. because he wanted to let you know he was joking, because he doesn't know how to be funny.
Oh, I love him.
Adorable.
Before we head on out of here, Flynn, or did you have anything else you needed to ask him?
No. If he doesn't know anything, that's good. That's a good thing for everyone. Really good that's for everyone that they're
Can I
not
make
around
an
here.
insight check?
Really good.
Ew, that was a 3, so 6. Oh, never mind.
He's.
He's
Are
just
you?
acting weird.
I was just saying, are you purposely being deceptive, or are you just being weird?
I mean,
Well,
I did.
He is being deceptive, but I don't think I gather that.
I mean,
Well,
I'm
She's
trying to
good.
be. I did mention after the dream that there were some people after me.
Yeah.
And but I'm not. I'm trying to make this out to be that it's not as big of a deal to me personally as it actually is.
So yeah, he is.
Yeah, then you get the vibe that he's just being weird. He's
Yeah,
being
everyone
Flynn
needs to
weird.
be on the watch out for these guys because they're really bad for everyone. Like really bad for everyone.
So, Icewind, I'm sorry to keep you waiting, but I wanted to ask you a few questions. The first question I had was if the people around here have ever heard of Stormbreaker.
Can't say that I have. Is that a person, a group, an item, an object?
It's an entity from beyond in the mountains outside of Starhel. So I guess if y'all haven't heard of it, it's probably not.
Yeah, you're that's Wildland area. That's, I will say, that wouldn't be much that would be common knowledge around here, but people travel, so you hear about individuals individuals traveling to the mountains and rumors about what you hear. And he thinks for a second. And he thinks for a second. He's like, come to think of it, Teal Sunwatch. She's one of the Council of Seven. She's from Wildland, if memory serves me correct, because she's one of the only council members that doesn't stay in Waynon full time. She travels between Waynon and somewhere in Wildland. Nobody really knows how she gets back and forth from there to Waynon and back. But I mean, outside of her, I can't think of anybody that would have successfully navigated Patricia's Pass or any part of the snow.
I was gonna say there's more ways than Patricia's Pass to get through to Starhel.
I can only imagine, but that wouldn't be something many people would know about around here.
All right, so I guess my other question was if you know of a way to get messages out to Wilden.
Well, you could always venture through Patricia's Pass yourself.
Yes, I know this.
Or whatever means you so implied at. I would say Waynon would probably be your best bet to find anybody that would be willing to relay a message to you. And nobody outside of council member Sunwatch, nobody really has any good way outside of trying to find a courier to take it or to go there yourself.
Understood.
So it's the rumors that go around about, for lack of a better way to put it, what happens on the other side of the mountains tends to, even in this more widely accepting society that we are in, it's hard for people to weigh out the risks of going through the mountains to see what's on the other side, essentially.
I see. Okay. Well, thank you. I'll tell
Wish I
you
could be
this
more-
though: if you do reports of people who have encountered Stormbreaker, you have a problem.
Oh.
Whoa. What's Stormbreaker?
It's an entity.
Oh, well, I will absolutely document. And he takes a piece of paper and a writing utensil, and he kind of jots down a few notes from the things you said. And he said, I don't know what I'll do with this information, but in my line of work, it's better to have information you don't need than need information you don't have, so.
Wise.
If you could also just please keep an eye out to let us know if you hear of people that might be after us for having defeated the Dragon's Claw, etc. I mean, I know you probably already have protocol for that, but we just need to know as soon as possible if there's issues.
Absolutely. I'm assuming I assume because you folks got my message that you're staying in the dormitories for the time being.
We'll check into garrisons, yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well,
And
I
we'll
will
let
relay.
the garrisons know at least which cities we're headed to.
Yeah. And yeah. So anything I will pass along. Anything that I hear, I'll pass along to our dormitory, and then obviously, if you do travel outside to any of the other major cities, absolutely check in. We have bi-weekly sending messages that we send out to kind of keep each of the other garrison commanders up to date, especially with all these rumor mills about, these smaller groups maybe banding together or getting some kind of backing. We want all the garrison commanders like to keep each other up to date as much as possible, so.
Okay. Well, thank you.
Well, we worked hard for over a year to take this country, and you see him. The eyebrow raise at what Morag asked about with the Dragon's Claw was like the first real indicator of any emotion besides stoicy, and this is really like the second one, and this is like cracking open the door a little bit. He says we worked very hard to get this country where it's at and make sure everybody, and he finger on the desk, I mean everybody, feels safe and welcome and has opportunities. And so if there's any groups out there that are wanting to go back to the ways where someone like myself would be looked as a lower class citizen, not having it.
Well, that's why I came to Starhel. So sounds like we're on the same page.
Well, best of luck in your journey wherever it takes you.
At this, Flynn's going to stand up. He's going to look at Icewind and just going to kind of nod. This is acknowledgement of respect. And put out his hand.
Take it. Obviously, his hand is larger than yours, so he
significantly larger,
wrapped around like this.
He's gonna Flynn's gonna grip it as best he can, not trying to overly squeeze, but give it a good grip.
Good firm grip.
Yep.
Yeah. Not quite that bad.
A good firm baby grip. I appreciate you. I appreciate you very much.
And I, once again,
thank you for your help.
Hate to keep repeating myself, but I appreciate everything you fine folks have done for the city of Furan and the surrounding areas, and frankly, all of Starhel. So, thank you.
Off we go.
Yep.
To find our friends and do our business.
All right.
I'm spending the week just watching Flynn unless I hear something that affects me.
Okay. All right. So we got about 25 minutes to wrap things up. So we'll start with Kira, since you were the first one to leave. Kira, what are you doing for this week?
Kira is spending a lot of time looking over her shoulder. She's walking around with her hood up, trying to be as incognito as possible. But at the same time, she's frequenting different taverns, different establishments, walking around marketplaces, in and out of shops, just listening and watching and looking for anybody who looks out of place, listening for any scraps of thieves' cant or like scratches on the wall that would indicate that the guild is around, potentially in a higher presence than they were before. But other than that, when she's not doing that, some of you might not know, Kira is actually quite a skilled leather worker, much like Dominic from the other campaign. And she's been making presents from the leather that she picked up from what was his name? Grog, the shopkeep that had leather and hides and things.
Okay, so if you want to do anything else, let's save that for the last thing we do.
Sure.
All right. Anything else you wanted to do specifically?
Nope, that's it.
Okay. All right. So give me, because you said you were kind of actively keeping an eye out. Give me 3 perception checks.
3 perception checks.
And then what we're going to do is we're going to take those 3 perception checks and figure the average of all 3.
Okay, so I got a perception, you said, right?
Yep.
17.
All right. 17 plus.
And 18.
18 plus.
And that's harder math. A 22.
22. All right, so we divide
No, wait.
that.
21, sorry.
Okay, so minus 1. And then we divide that by 3, which gives us an aggregate, we'll round it up, of 19.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
For me.
Yeah, for sure. So the 19, you get signs that there's some activity. It's hard to tell whether it's like outside the normal because of what you're familiar with the Thieves Guild. It's hard to tell if it's just normal, like Thieves Guild members checking around town looking for potential contacts or kind of following up on a job they may have done, or if it's somebody more actively pursuing you, mentioning you. But you definitely notice that there is Thieves Guild activity going on, whether it's mostly done through hearing certain Thieves' Cant's phrases when frequenting certain bars and taverns and stuff like that.
Is that activity she would want to know if it seems like it was more than before, like the whole shenanigans with the Dragon's Claw, because she was in Furon for at least a little bit before the Fight Club thing. Maybe not more than a couple of days, but
yeah, it's for how long you were there, because you were only there a couple days beforehand. So for that length of time, it doesn't seem higher than average.
Are you okay?
Okay. Okay, or if it does seem higher, then she can't pick it out between her just being a little bit extra vigilant. I can see that.
Yeah, a little bit extra vigilant, or even, to be honest, maybe a little bit paranoid. So.
Yeah, yes. Yeah. Let's be honest about that.
Yeah,
okay,
so maybe
cool.
doing a little bit of seeing ghosts, but outside of that, yeah.
Nothing specific to really tired to pick out.
Yeah. Clancy, after you've recovered from choking to death.
Yeah.
Are you
First
first off?
Just randomly.
Okay. I hate when that happens. So Clancy, you were the next to leave. What, if anything, are you specifically doing for this week?
Well, one thing's for sure, he's definitely getting his knives sharpened. That's one of the things he's worried about. He's used them a lot, so.
Yep, for sure. Yep. So there is a the shop that Icewind recommended you to.
Mhm.
Like he described as like one of those places that's like odd. It's like odd. It's run by an odd crew, and they not only do weapons blacksmithing, they also make armament or artillery and stuff like that for ships and stuff like that. It is called. I don't know if you want to write this down or not. Yes, we cannon.
Ha!
Sweet cannon. That's amazing. I love it.
Yes, we cannon.
Yes, we can.
And it's run by an old dwarf. That's got like, oh my god, it's such a stereotype. So he's got like a peg leg, and he doesn't have an eye patch, but he definitely has like a massive scar over one eye that's left that eye blind. So anytime you walk in, anytime you walk in, I don't know how many times you go during the week, but he always does his standard greeting of, "Welcome to Yes, We Cannon! If you've got a job, I've got one thing to say to you. Yes, we cannon. What can I do for you?"
Ask him about his wyvern.
There's a sign on the door that says, "Don't ask about the leg."
Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, how many times do you plan on frequenting this blacksmith during that week?
Well, he's probably just gonna go take the knives to get sharpened there, and then whenever they're ready to pick up, he's gonna pick them up.
Okay.
But he's not gonna actively go in there.
Yeah, knife sharpening really only takes like a day, if that. Most of the time, especially if you plan on dropping it off after that meeting. So by the you would have gotten there like, early to mid morning, so they would have been done. They would have been done for you by the end of the day. So.
Okay.
And we'll say how many? There's the 2 daggers, right?
Yeah, 2 daggers.
And would you describe those daggers as fairly simple, pretty standard, ornate? How would you describe them?
They're pretty standard daggers, just your kind of run-of-the-mill, all-use dagger.
Yeah. Okay, so you probably would have been charged, let's call it a silver, to sharpen both of them. Not too expensive, but definitely maybe a bit of a markup. But they're blacksmiths in the docks area, so got to make the coin when they can.
I don't see any. How much equivalent gold or copper would that be to silver?
It'd be 10 copper 10 copper. So.
Okay.
If my math is correct, yep. See, once again,
This is
average
The thing
rule
I always
person.
forget about.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
Because
always forget
he
about
has
making a
25
character.
copper
You have
and
to do that. You
3,
can't just
or
all
he has
have
25
gold.
gold, 3 copper.
I mean, if you give him a gold, he'll give you back change.
Okay.
Maybe.
Which
Whether
would
it's correct
be-
change or not, you're not sure.
Yeah.
So say 24 gold, and maybe I got a few copper back.
Well, if you give him a gold piece, because 10 silver is 1 gold piece. So if you give him a gold piece,
Yeah.
he should give you back
9
change.
silver back.
You should get 9 silver. Yeah.
You should get 9 silver back.
Okay.
All right. Anything else you're doing that week?
Well, after that, he's usually just, maybe going to different places to get like coffee and tea and stuff.
Beer.
I don't know. I don't know if there's any like libraries or anything. He likes to read, so.
Oh.
There's a couple bookshops. I mean, not like a very extensive library, but there's a couple bookshops.
Okay, yeah. So he'd probably be in those areas most of the time.
Okay.
Just like browsing the books they have, or getting coffee or tea somewhere.
Okay.
Pretty much keeping it to himself.
Sure. All right. So
We'll talk. Yeah.
Yeah. So let's say knock off. Let's say knock off 4 gold pieces for spending money on tea, and I'm gonna guess you probably bought some books.
Oh, should I knock off money for hanging out in bars all week?
Yeah. I mean, I'm gonna guess you weren't there.
Gamble to make it back.
Maybe. You're fine.
Yeah,
let's
not
say.
a gambler, really.
Yeah, let's have you knock off like 2 gold, because you're not.
Yeah, I was gonna
You're
say
not-
she would be doing a lot of like having one drink and nursing it while she's like.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's not gonna be like drinking. Okay.
Yeah. So let's knock off 2 gold there for that. It's probably a bit on the high side, but.
It's fine.
All right. Anything else, Clancy?
No, that would be all.
All right. Morag. You were the next one to leave.
I am going to go visit Ace.
All right.
Wow, chicken.
So you head over
Calm down.
to. So you head over to Ace's General Store, and you make your way back to the, back to the back office that you've visited several times already.
You make it sound really weird, but go on.
Roll
Well,
for a
you've been there a
protection
couple
check.
times.
Did it work well or did it not?
Out of context,
Oh
though.
no.
Gross.
Anyway,
So
She
yeah.
goes to the
So
back office, sits on the desk.
no.
hello. Are you trying to seduce me?
Nope.
So yeah. So you see your handsome green dragonborn sitting there filling out, the equivalent of spreadsheets. He's on Excel, making formulas.
I'm just gonna knock on the door. I'm not
Really?
gonna say anything though. Just gonna knock on the door.
All right. Oh, so okay. So he peeks his. So he looks up from whatever he's working on. He says, "Well, hello, my dear.
Hello again.
It's a pleasure to see you."
Is it?
Yeah, absolutely.
It's very nice to see you as well.
To what do I owe the pleasure of your company this fine day?
Well, wait, out of character. Have I seen him
Freeze.
since all of this? I haven't, right? Since
The
Dragon's
last time you saw him was when you dropped off the wagon after you had captured Duncan.
But that was like in passing.
Yeah, it was like essentially.
I think we stopped by there once before we left to go to the Dragon Claws.
Yeah, but
since we
did
cut
it,
back,
yeah.
no.
Okay, I just wanted to be sure.
I think it's supplies kind of thing. That's it.
Yeah. Well,
That she
I
did stop there.
just-
We did stop there afterwards. But
Yeah.
I
We
don't
did?
remember now.
did we?
Go
well,
ahead.
I'm-
I can see.
okay.
I don't think we did.
Talk amongst
Anyway.
yourselves.
Yeah, talk amongst yourselves while I find my notes. Okay. I'm so sorry. I have really bad acid reflux right now.
She really is for
Is that Morag or is that D?
No, that's me. That's me. The one actually burping. That's me. Hi, it's me. I'm the problem. It's me. Anyway, well, I just wanted to check in and see how you were. We secured everything with the Dragon's Claw. They won't be an issue anymore.
You did stop in and see him after we had
Heck,
gotten
Oh, that's
there.
yeah, because that's when you did the kiss.
Yeah,
That's when we did the kiss.
because that's when you kissed him. It's like on the last page of my notes from
That's
last
right. I had forgotten about that because I knew you kissed him, but I didn't remember when that had happened. You did it after you guys had
No.
gotten back. Yeah.
Arm cannon and Dragonborn make dragon babies.
Gross.
Talk about good armor.
What?
How did
time. I
I
even drew a
not?
little heart. I even drew a little heart. You can't see it, but I
What
did
day
in
was
my
that
notes. It was the last day we played because it's literally that, and then the dream stuff is what I have. Like it's on the last page of my notes from the last time.
I'm guessing you did that right when we got back to
So-
town, and then you went and saw. Either you went and saw Icewind after the
September
kiss
27th.
or before the kiss?
We saw Icewind before, and then we went to the garrison, and then we were all running
the
errands that day
dormitories.
because that's
Okay,
when we
so
met
yeah,
the rock
you got-
walls or the
Yep.
dormitories. Yeah.
Yeah,
This
so
sounds familiar now.
you got
Yep.
back into town, you kissed Ace, and then you went to Icewind.
No, we went to Icewind. We got back to town. We went to Icewind. We went to the barracks to
Same.
see the
Yeah.
space. Then we ran errands like the rest of that day, and then that's when she met up with Ace.
And kissed him.
And then
Smoochy, smoochy.
and kissed him, and then we all
The dream
came back
sequence.
to the barracks and went to sleep and had the dream sequence. Yeah,
Okay, so this is quite
it was
literally
like
the
the
next
stuff
day
that
from
happened literally right before. Yeah.
There you go.
Okay. Sorry, I just wanted to make sure before you got too into the role
monkey's
play
uncle.
that we got that
Night
cleared that up.
note taker for the win.
I didn't even write anything down about Ace. I have all of the
You're
other
like
stuff
the
that you just
worst
said.
lover ever.
Correct.
You got into the role play. That's what I'm here for.
That's true. All right, so the question still stands: to what do I owe the pleasure of your company today?
Last night.
Does she make that face?
Nope.
Here comes the acid
I-
reflux.
Yeah.
just pukes.
I just wanted to check in on you. Had a bit of a bad dream last night. Didn't really sleep that well, but I wanted to just check in and see how you were and maybe what your plans were this week.
No, shoot.
Well, I hope the bad dream didn't involve me in any way. If it did, I'm truly sorry.
No.
Roll a deception check.
No, I was gonna be real with him.
Okay.
I was gonna say
Okay.
no.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
you were there in the dream, but
Well.
uh,
Well, now this certainly changes the conversation.
oh,
Well,
Question.
it does.
yes, Clancy.
If they do fun stuff, does she have to roll a performance check
Oh my
to see
god.
how well she's up as well?
Oh god.
Headphones are
I
off.
get a plus 20 to that.
If we get to that point, we will have a conversation offline before that. So that's what I will say.
Kaylee's dying.
I need my mom. Or
Quick, is
anyone's mom.
Riverwatcher in the chat?
Riverwatcher, are you here? Please help me.
I don't think she is today.
So he says, well, that changes things because if I'm showing up in your dreams, that must mean that you missed me.
Ooh.
Maybe.
Maybe.
And I have been thinking about you for
Well,
Well-
after yesterday, I've been thinking about you too.
Oh. And she just like beat red.
Kind of like Kaylee a couple minutes ago.
Yep.
Okay.
About that, was that okay? Was it okay that I did that? I'm so sorry. I should have asked.
So he gets up from behind the desk, walks over, takes both hands, puts them in his hands.
Takes both of his hands and puts them in his hands.
No, your hands, both of your
Okay.
hands, and puts them in his hands. He does the streamer clap. This is what I think of our kiss yesterday. Let's go! Let's go!
Let's get these gains.
So he takes your hands and he looks you in the eye and says, I admit I was surprised, but happy surprises are always welcome in my world, so. So to
I'm
answer
sorry
your
if my
question,
hands are a bit clammy.
I'm a dragonborn. Mine gets clammy sometimes too.
Well, I've only got one clammy hand.
And to answer your other question, I don't have any plans for the week.
Would you like to make some?
With you, absolutely.
Aww.
And he
Maybe I'd be
leans
happy to
over
with
and,
my hands.
and then he gives you a peck on the cheek.
She just kind of awkwardly like pecks him on the cheek as well.
Where are you staying at right now?
I'm in the garrison. With everyone. I'm so sorry. My mind is a bit blank at the moment. But I can be reached through the garrison. We're staying with not a bunker. That's not the right word. It's in the garrison housing. I really don't know. But right. So you can reach me through the garrison. I'm sorry.
You're
I'm a bit
talking about the
awkward.
dormitories, right?
Thank you. Yes. Dormitories.
Will it be all right if after I close up the shop tonight, we go out to dinner?
Absolutely.
Wonderful. Well, I unfortunately do have to get back to work, but
Right.
I'm looking forward to seeing you tonight.
As am I. What should I wear?
Ooh.
Makes no difference to me, just as long as we're sharing each other's company.
That's adorable. Okay. Well, I'm going to go now. I will see you later.
And he takes his hands, puts them on your face, and plants a big one.
Ah! A big one what? No, I'm just kidding. A ficus.
A big old high five. Yeah.
And you officially made it worse than my joke.
Right on your
Big
face.
High five on your face.
Thank you. Yep.
You're a person too.
You're
She
a person too.
Absolutely beat red, backs out of the room. Doesn't turn around, just backs out of the room.
And he chuckles to himself and turns around and walks back to his desk.
I don't think any of you realize this is Morag's first, like, love interest ever.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Does she tell the party that she's going on a date with him? Like that day? Because I can tell you, Kira would 100% be like, what you gonna wear? You gotta figure that out now. Come on, let's go. Let's go look at your
Now
what do you
she's
pack?
gonna
We
go
need to shopping?
look. Yes. She's gonna go look for Jin and Kira.
All right.
And I guess
So-
Flynn as well. And Clint.
What's up, sis?
She's gonna look for
Everyone.
everybody.
All
But
right.
mostly Jin and Kira.
All right. So you
You
meet
might
up.
actually run into me on the way out of the store.
I swear to God, if you made another didgeridoo.
Me.
Clancy's just in the background watching the date, like,
You heard her. I'll cut you.
Stab, 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 stab,
Yeah.
stab.
Yeah. All right. Yep. So
I'm
at
gonna buy
some
a
point you
table
meet up.
for
You meet up with. Let's say you meet up with Kira and Jen at around lunchtime.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm.
Eating. Definitely eating.
I've got. I went to see Ace earlier, and he's wanting to go to dinner tonight, but I don't really know what to do about that. I've never been in this
Did he
kind of
tell you
situation
where?
before. No. I should have asked that, shouldn't I have?
Well, not necessarily, but it might help to figure out what you're gonna wear. Do you have, like, we need to... I mean, you can't wear your armor. That's not
like you need to wear something at least a little bit nicer than that,
I
right?
have to wear my armor, otherwise I don't have an arm.
No, she means
Well,
this.
no,
We
you're
just
like
get to,
you
your
don't
leather
need
armor.
your whole ensemble. Like clearly you need your arm, but like you don't need the breastplate and your greaves and whatnot.
Oh,
Probably
well,
not.
of course, I don't plan on wearing that, but I don't really have anything else to wear.
Oh, Jen, we need to go shopping.
Shopping montage.
There's got to be some clothing stores around here. We can find something. Doesn't have to be too fancy.
Wait,
I
am I gonna
imagine.
have to wear a
I got a
dress?
new garment.
Oh,
You could pull off a dress.
No.
I mean, Clancy's former royalty, so you could ask him how to look your absolute best.
You haven't told
'cause
us
he would
yet.
know.
Yeah, he met up with Jen and Kira first, or she met up with Jen and
Yeah.
Kira first.
But you
No,
haven't
I
told
think
us
Clancy
that you're
did-
royalty.
Yeah.
I think he
Oh.
did.
He did.
He
No,
did.
he
After
told
he
you
told
already
you.
that he
after
was
all the
royalty.
drinks. Yeah. So
Yeah.
you guys know.
Yeah.
Nobody else does,
Yeah,
but he
so
knows.
I mean-
but you all
Yeah.
know.
Clancy might know about getting fancy, but Ace doesn't really seem like the super fancy type. But you just don't want to go into it
Yeah.
looking like you're ready for a fight.
Well, I did
Yeah,
ask him
that's
what
what
I
I'm
should
thinking.
wear, and he said as long as he's in my company, he doesn't really care. But I would still like to look nice.
Oh, it's a dress night. It's a dress date.
Oh, please don't make me wear a dress.
It's a dress date.
Well,
he said it. It's a
what
dress
if
date.
we get you, like, maybe not a dress, but like a longer tunic
A
type
skirt.
top that's a little bit longer? You can still wear leggings underneath, but it's like I bet we can
Flowy,
find
though.
something nice. It's not necessarily a dress, but a
That's
little
kind of
bit
what Jen wears. Like she has a very long
flowy
tunic.
or
yeah.
nicer, or we can get you some like a scarf or something.
Boots with the
To
furs.
fancy it. You don't have to wear a dress to look fancy. Is all I'm saying.
Apple bottom tunic, boots with the furs. Sorry.
All right.
The
So
whole tavern
Jen,
was looking at her.
you've heard of medieval
Okay,
lo-fi.
now-
Get ready for medieval rap.
Okay, Bill
She
has
hit the
to write
floor.
that song now.
Next thing you know,
Back in-
everybody was alerted.
All right. So
Bar fight.
all right. So it doesn't take you guys long. You guys go around the marketplace. There's a few clothing shops, and you find something that everybody generally agrees is like nicer, but not like a long flowing gown or anything like that.
I'm sure
know,
me and
the-
Kira use this as an excuse to get a new outfit as well.
Absolutely. And
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, and one of the places you guys end up picking the best outfit for all of you. The attendant keeps going, well, we're not as fancy as the folks over there in Xandar, but we've got a pretty good selection of stuff. So why don't you go ahead and check some stuff out, and they bring out a
Xandar
bunch.
has some pretty eccentric stuff. We're just looking for simple and elegant.
Fair enough. So
In my mind's eye, I would like to have like a corseted outfit. Like we're going full on. I'm gonna end up getting like a skirt and like like a
All right.
corset and like the fancy top tunic thing and
Rough
You're going for the
sleeves,
dress armor.
like medieval.
the
yeah.
drummer. Yeah.
Drama.
And I would also like to get a new trench coat.
alrighty then.
I don't necessarily have to wear the trench coat on top of that, but I would like to have a new trench coat.
Oh, she'll be wearing the
Mine
trench
is a
coat later.
little yuck.
Clancy's wearing a
All the
trench coat
pockets.
later.
No, she'll be wearing the trench coat later when she's.
Oh, she'll be wearing the trench coat.
So
yeah.
Jen wears a headscarf. So whatever outfit she gets, she's looking for a matching headscarf.
There you go. All right. All right. So we'll consider these.
We're all just kitted out now.
Yeah. So we'll
We're ready to be
consider
your
that you
backup.
guys upgraded to, let's say, finer clothing. Which
Okay.
normally would come across 15 gold pieces per outfit.
We got that.
So
Are we taking that out of our individual or the party fund?
it's up to you guys.
I'd say party.
Can we do party? I don't know.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, yeah, we could definitely do party. I've got we still have the stuff from Deviant's office that I haven't even
Yeah.
touched yet.
Yeah.
And
We still have
so
Deviant's
I will
office we
pick
can go
that.
back to too.
Well, I'm changing
Do you?
into my fine clothes when we get back.
I don't know that we do.
Go away.
Go on.
Go away.
Where is my bag of holding? There it is. Okay, so
If
we've
you know you
got
will.
45 gold would come out. if
more
that's
than enough. 45 total. Is that what the total
Four to
was?
five for 3 sets of fine clothing.
Okay.
Well, we'd be
Take that out of the bag of holding party gold.
Jen's
That
like
requires math.
feeling the fabrics, like, this is so great.
There you go. And you got to realize, all 3 of you, you've been, you know, in battles. You've been, you know, a lot of you have been traveling a lot, so you've been wearing basic travel clothes. For a lot of you, this is the first time either ever or in a very long time that you've not worn either armor or like super basic traveling gear.
Yeah, and actually, for you two, this would be the first time you saw Jen's hair, and she has really long black hair.
Yay.
Your hair is gorgeous.
Thanks. It's usually in the way.
It's always in the
Same.
way.
That's why it's in a braid all the time.
Yeah.
Look at this bit that I singed off the other day.
Do you want a trim? I can trim that up for you if you need.
No, that's fine. That's just going to happen again if I'm going to be completely honest, so I might as well just even it out that way.
That's fair.
That's one way to do it.
All right.
She doesn't have broken ends.
All right, so let's say it takes you guys, so you guys met at lunch. Let's say it takes you that whole afternoon to, you know, because you're not in any
Clancy
speed
is
rush.
charged with watching Flynn during this time.
Okay.
Oh, he's gonna get his
That's gonna
footwork
go well.
in then.
Yeah. All right. So
It's actually gonna work out great.
Yeah. So we all right, so so you head back to the dormitories. Are you waiting up in your room or are you waiting down in the lobby?
I'll probably do a mixture of both, just kind of going back and forth
Up
nervously.
and down, up and down. Okay.
Yeah, we're just like
So-
coaching her, like, relax, relax. You're good.
All right. So let's say on the 3rd trip back down from your room, you see Icewind kind of, or not Icewind. No, sorry. You see Ace. Sorry, I got my Dragonborn mixed up there. You see Ace standing by the front desk, kind of making small talk with the attendant, and then he turns and he looks at you, and you see him. He's wearing, similar style to what you're wearing, like,
Of course,
similar level, I would say.
Okay.
You guys aren't twinsies. Sorry, I know you
Oh.
want to be, but
He's just wearing like the most
You'd
elegant
be like,
dress.
oh my god, girl, twinsies!
oh, hey. All right. So he
One of
looks
us is going to have to change.
It's like that TikTok thing where like the 2 people walk out and you go shit. So he looks at you coming down the stairs, and he's genuinely taken aback and says, "My lady, had I known, I would have worn something much more presentable."
You look like a dream.
And he takes,
That
he
doesn't
offers his
typically work out
hand.
for you.
Oh my god.
Yikes. He takes your hand, walks you down the last few steps, and as you're walking out the door with him, he says, well, I had a couple different options in mind. We have, obviously, there's some place where we can go. It's a little bit fancier. It has, a nice sit-down meal, nice calming, relaxing music. Or we can go to some place that's maybe a little bit more lively. It's up to you.
I do like lively things.
As do I.
Oh my god. This is gonna be amazing if you're gonna do what I think you're gonna do.
I'm scared.
So, all right, let me pull up my Furon map.
In and out of character. I'm scared.
Oh,
This could be amazing because honestly, everything I want to do.
That's what I was
Sudden,
thinking.
we're
It's like
back
it
at
takes
the
you to a
beginning.
fight club.
Yep. All right. So he walks you and he says, "All right. Well, I know just the place that I think will suit both of our tastes." So he walks you a little bit past the docks ward, closer to the Old Meadow district, which is considered like, you know, where the merchants tend to live. So like, but it's like right on the edge. And you walk, like, as soon as you like get close to where the direction that he's walking to, you hear music, like loud music. Like there's fiddles, there's you know, all kinds of lively music. You hear people singing along. And as he's about to walk in, he turns to you and says, you know, being the owner of one of the biggest stores in town, I typically have to go to fancier, stuffier places to for business meetings and stuff like that. So this place is like my escape. I hope it can be your escape too.
The band's just Lynn and Leafwalkers -1.
So walks in Lynn and the Fleefwalkers. So he walks in and it's ruckus crowd. Not like, you know, throwing chairs or anything like that, but everybody's singing. Everybody's got, you know, beers in their hands, ales in their hands, you know, food, you know, lively place. And he walks in and he makes eye contact with the bartender behind the bar who's slinging ales left and right. And it's a Goliath. And he looks over and he goes, Ace, all right, got your table right over there, buddy. Have fun. And he walks over and there's a table in the corner that, for all the tables being busy and stuff, this table is surprisingly quiet. So, so it comes. So you guys.
Table?
Like I
How
said,
many ladies
this
does Ace bring to this bar?
He says, like I said, this place is my escape, and I have to escape what I do quite frequently because, frankly, it bores the ever-living hells out of me.
Maybe we can change that.
I'd like that. All right, so you guys get walked over to the table, and you enjoy an absolutely lovely evening of food and bar food and ale. He tells stories about how he got his business started, you know, and all that. How much? Stop it. How much do you open up to him? We don't have to like role play the whole thing out, but how much do you open up to him?
As in about
Well,
like,
he's
my
telling-
past?
Yeah, well,
Or
like
just in
he's telling
general?
stories about like, you know, how he got his store started and what made him wanting to go into merchant business anyway. And, you know, he's like, you know, he asks about like, you know, are you an artificer? Are you a part of the Inventors Guild? You know, how did you end up here? Stuff like that. So
all
you
of
don't
the
have to role
above,
play it out,
actually.
but you what?
I am part of the Inventors Guild. I actually do own a shop in Arceus. It makes quite a good living, actually.
Right. Wonderful.
I ended up here so that I could possibly open another shop, and go between the two cities.
Wow.
So the life that you talk about being very boring, I agree, is very boring, but maybe we could pass a few pointers between each other to make it more feasible.
And he kind of chuckles to himself and he says, a business and a personal relationship. Some people might view that as scandalous.
See, now the two don't mix, business and pleasure. However, you can have them separately, but with the same people. If that makes any sense at all.
I pick up your meaning perfectly. So we round out the rest of the evening. He walks you back to the dormitories, and he says, well, you know, puts, you know, his hands in your hands again and says, well, this was one of the best nights I've had in a very long time, and I hope we can have another one very soon.
Tomorrow?
My schedule is open tomorrow after the shop closes.
I'll meet you at the shop. I have an idea.
Sounds wonderful. It is 11:15, so
Yeah.
All right. So with a one more kiss on the lips, he wishes you good night.
So classy.
I'm not a poet. Come on now. I'm a DM.
No, you weren't looking. I went.
laughing at Dee's face.
You
Oh.
said kiss on the
You
mouth,
keep
and I went.
looking away when Dee's making faces.
Oh. Lovely.
You're welcome.
So how do you spend the rest of your week?
Just going on dates, apparently.
All right.
Getting
Fair.
to know Ace more.
All right. Lovely. All right. So we can move on to Flynn. Flynn, what
Okay.
are you doing for this next week?
I'll just say what I'm gonna do, and if it comes down to we role play it out, we can do that next time.
Sure.
I want to get into. I want to find a local artist.
Mhm.
I want to find. Oh god, I had this entirely planned out, and now I'm cutting my pants down. So I want to find a local artist. I want to find
Ace
place-
was too. I just do it for Kaylee. That's it. I just do it for Kaylee. Okay, so we talked about what's the one thing we're looking forward to being all together. Seeing Kaylee's reactions in real life. That's what I'm really looking forward to.
It happens.
Someday we'll make it happen.
Yeah.
That'd be
go
fun.
ahead.
But so yeah, I want to find a local artist. I want to find a place that I can do some performances, like a really big performance, and I want to find someone who actually can print out some posters and like some flyers and such, and get things like going. Maybe even do, like advertising and such. Maybe even if I pay some local kids to do some of that for me. But I also want to find out how much this is going to cost me, so then I can go to the Rock Walls, I can go to Ace, and I can go to Leather Guy.
Grog.
Grog, because I know them, and maybe if they can like point me in another direction or something, but for them to be able to sponsor this and see if they'll go in with this. And I want to make a big performance, and I can even do like this great big thing, and everything's inspired from us going to go talk to the news reporter, and maybe I can make an entire song about this.
Sure. Okay. We can role play that out in further detail next week. So if you wanna just hang on to exactly what you want to do.
Yeah, I could. Yeah.
Yeah. So if you want to plan out specifically what you want to do in order, we'll roll that. We'll take care of all that next week.
Okay.
All right. And lastly, Jen, what are you doing for this week?
When I'm not sort of gossiping with the girls, I guess, getting into a little bit of normalcy that I have not experienced in a long time. I'm mostly just keeping an eye on Flynn and rolling eyes and really not excited about the fact that he wants to call this attention to him after like what we just did and the dreams I had. So I'm paranoid, but then when I'm talking with Kira and Morag, it's like a reprieve and like a rest.
Sure, I feel that. All right, so same thing
know what you mean.
as Kira. Give me 3 perception checks, and then we'll average them out.
All right. All right, that is a 17 plus. So dirty 20.
20.
Nat 20. So 23.
20 plus 23.
That's a 12.
12. Alright, so divide that by 3. I don't know why I needed to do that. That was exactly 15. So 15 will... Nothing really strikes you as, like, any abnormal activity that you're noticing. Maybe, like, a couple times you end up going to the same place that Kira goes. Like, you guys weren't knowing. You guys weren't knowing that you were going to the same place. And in your noticing and you looking for suspicious activity on your end, you notice her noticing stuff, if that makes sense. Not like every day, but maybe like once or twice during that week that you're just like, I should go say something to Kira, but it looks like she's keeping out for the same kind of stuff that I am. That's weird. But you know, I leave that up to you, and we can do that next week. We leave that up to you as to how much you guys.
Her mind anyway. So.
Yeah, so you two can offline convo how much of that you want to do offline, or we can even do it next week, whatever. But with a 15, that's the most you get outside of, you know, you look around and you're like, nothing weird going on, so nothing too weird going on.
Okay.
Okay, well, that seems like a very good place to stop that we should have stopped at 20 minutes ago.
Do you want to do
My
the gift giving
bad.
then first thing next time?
Yeah, we'll do the gift giving first thing next time.
I can't wait to hear what Kira made.
Yeah, it's a lot of it'll be good. It'll be a lot of fun. So, well, we ran way past our normal time, and my sincere apologies for that. But if anybody knows by now, I'm not going to get in the way of people wanting to role play their stuff. I even feel bad for not doing your thing, Flynn, but that will be super involved.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking.
Yeah, so I feel bad for not getting to that tonight, but I'm excited to figure that out next week. But
Content.
Unfortunately, folks, it is time to return to the real world. Boo. But thank you for coming with us. Thank you for coming with us back to Starhel. It feels good to be back. I've been looking forward to it for a while, and I'm excited for where these stories are going to go. So check us out next week. The replay, if you want to tell your friends about it, the replay will be tomorrow at 11 a.m. Central Time, noon Eastern. And check us out on all the socials, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, all that good stuff. And thanks again. And we will see you later. Bye, everyone.